We ask you to remain standing for our invocation to be offered tonight by Pastor Damon Hyman, chaplain from Hastings College.
Hi, everybody. If you are so inclined, I invite you to join with me in a moment of prayer. Loving and gracious God, thank you for this evening. Thank you for a time to gather, a time to celebrate, a time to cheer. Thank you for a breeze and a little bit of cloud cover. As we gather with one another, let your presence be known. Help us, O God, to be ever kind, ever compassionate, and ever loving. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. And now it's time for football.
In Nebraska, football is a way of life. It's the one thing that would make a farmer stop harvest. It's also the one thing that would bring moms together in sweltering heat or frigid cold to watch their sons. For 41 years now, the best 8-man players have dreamed of playing in Hastings for the state's annual clash of the top players the small towns have to offer. Some who have made the trip have taken their dream all the way to Lincoln and beyond. Names like Macavicka and Legate and Shanley and Connelly. Today, this Father's Day weekend tradition continues. 48 of the best 8-man players in the state will battle one last time. This is the Nebraska 8-man All-Star Game on StrivSports.com. As a matter of fact, Terry Connelly is our head coin flipper for this evening. And honored to be in the presence of Terry and the new 8-man Hall of Fame class. We'll talk about those gentlemen when we get closer to the halftime break and into the halftime break, when they will recognize the new class of the 8-man Football Hall of Fame here in the state of Nebraska. It's a good group, and it should be a lot of fun. We're going to go listen in to the coin flip right now.
All right, fellas, Mr. Connelly is going to be our honorary free coin toss today, so we'll go ahead and call it. You guys are the visitors, correct? Yep. Okay, who's going to call the flip? You got it.
Tails.
Calls tails. Mr. Connelly, flip for us. Tails, you've won the toss. Kick off, defer, receive. Okay. Okay, it's your choice to start the game. Do you want the ball? Do you want to kick off? You want the ball? Which end do you want to kick off from, gentlemen? You want to kick this way or kick that way? Okay, over here with me, yellow or gold, green over on this side. Start the game. Gold will kick off. Defend the south goal. Their choice to start second half. Any questions, Cole? All right, guys. Good luck.
East All-Stars won tonight's coin flip.
So there you have it. We are ready to go for the 8-man All-Star game here at Hastings College. Good evening. My name is Eric Allgood. Happy to be with you on StrivSports.com, the official live stream of the 8-man Coaches Association and the Sertoma Club here in Hastings and the 8-man All-Star Classic. We have got warm temperatures, but yes, very thankful for a little bit of cloud cover and a good south wind, because it wouldn't be the plains in Nebraska in the middle of June without a good stiff south wind. We have got the 48 of the best 8-man players in the state of Nebraska have congregated here at Hastings College since 1978. This is the 41st edition of the Sertoma 8-man All-Star Classic, and this is our 4th year as being the broadcast provider for this game, and excited to be about a part of this again. The West in their green uniforms and the East in the gold. We'll talk about these kids as they get going, and hopefully every single one of them makes a couple of plays so we can make sure we get them mentioned as making a play against the All-Stars. It's always a fun part of June when you get to tee it up against the other kids that you maybe have played against or heard about from other parts of the state that you don't normally get a chance to see. This is the opportunity. For the gold, it is Caden Tice teed up with it at the 40-yard line. A good south wind at his back. And that is Daniel Leibolt of Chambers Wheeler Central Ewing back there to receive this. But like we said, a good south wind. It's been blowing about 15, 20, maybe 25 miles an hour throughout most of the day here in Hastings. So the gold team, that's the East, they will have the wind at their back here in this first quarter. And the West in the green will have it. The 41st annual Sertoma 8-man All-Star Game is underway. That one will fly into the end zone, and yes, we're playing the right 8-man width of field, but the full 100 yards. So that one about 55 yards in the air, actually 65 yards in the air that time, off the foot of Caden Tice. So 1st and 10 from the 20 is where the West will have it first down. And we'll mention some of the guys as they break their huddle along the offensive line. Names like Talon Reiser, Tell Spees, Thomas Hughes, Drake Davenport, and Roper Chandler we will see across that front. And fake a handoff, and coming to the near side is the quarterback. That is Jack Rush. Jack played for South Loop High School and Coach Andy Schwartz this year. 3,600 yards passing in his career, 49 touchdowns. He ran for another 3,300 yards and 76 scores. They were the runners-up this year in Class D2 to BDS and the steamroller that was the BDS Eagles, and we will see a couple of different Eagles actually on the field here today for that East squad. In fact, I think we will see, we do see one of them out there is Carson Dixon. He's the defensive end, number 40 on the far side of a 4-man front for the East defense. So this is Rush again in a shotgun or pistol set, and now he will set up to throw, drifts a little to his left and has a man out in the left flat. This is a nice play, cutting back into the middle, and out near the midfield strength, that is Eckhout, Holden Eckhout of Amherst, playing for Coach Ron Evans this past year in his career. 86 catches and 18 touchdowns as a Bronco and playing here at the Hastings College Broncos. So first down, the first down of the game belongs to the West. 12-minute quarter, so a normal clock procedure, and it's always fun to see what the coaching staffs kind of concoct throughout the offseason. Pick most of these guys by the time they're in January. This is Rush keeping it to the right himself all the way. He does cross midfield. Ben Bowling of Johnson Brock was in on that tackle, but again out to the 49 of the East. And so it will be second down at about 7 yards to go. Opening possession of the 8-man All-Star game. And again, it's Rush that will be in the backfield. Eckhout is the end on the near side. Rush takes the snap, and he does indeed give it off this time on the near side to Daniel Leibolt, and he has stood up after a minimal gain, perhaps no gain. Connor Bear was there along with Ben Rietziger of Nebraska Lutheran, playing a linebacker spot. And Lucas Thigstad, why not, also came up from a defensive back spot. So very short game, maybe the length of the football, we'll call it still. Third down and a good 6.5 yards yet to go with Rush. The only player listed at quarterback this week for the West All-Star. So it'll be interesting to see if he takes all the snaps back there or if they mix it up a little bit. Little counter play for the quarterback. Rush has the first down. He's got the sideline, tiptoes, and he is out of bounds at the 38-yard line, but a first down carry for Jack Rush of South Loop. Coach Andy Schwartz saw that run a few times over the last few years. We mentioned over 9,000 yards of total offense in his career for Jack, and what a run they had this year did South Loop through the playoffs. So first and 10 from the East squads, 38. And the handoff this time does go to Leibolt, trying for the outside, turns the corner, still on his feet as he cuts back in the middle, looking to pick up another blocker, and is finally brought down at around the 20-yard line. That was Ben Bowling of Johnson Brock again in on that tackle, but they'll mark him at the 21, so a nice slippery run there of 16 yards for Leibolt, and he just kind of turned the corner. The head coaches out west, Luke Gideon of Burwell, the 2016 D1 champs. Mitch Pfeiffer of Mullen. You'll get a lot of ISO and power and sweep when you face the Broncos. John Coffey of Blue Hill and Mike Max of Burwell also in on the assisted side for the West All-Stars. Rush has a couple of running backs. He will hand it off to Leibolt again right up the middle. This time he's hit quickly at the line. He will get one And that is about it. Rietziger was there, but the first guy there was actually Carson Dixon of BDS. We saw Kendall Dixon a few years ago in this game before taking his talents out to the University of Wyoming. Carson will be playing at Northwest Missouri State in the future. Short gain of 1, so 2nd and 9. This is still the opening possession as we approach a 4-minute drive so far and showing no signs of slowing down just yet. And a reminder that, sometimes when you see an 8-man game on a regulation field, they play the goal line at the 10. No. We're going all the way to the end zone. This is Rush. Quarterback sweep the right all the way. And he is inside the 20, picked up a couple there before he is brought down by Anders Jensen of Lawrence Nelson. Anders 5'11", 210 along that defensive front, playing for Coach Brian Blevins, who is part of the 8-Man Coaches Association head group. So 3rd and 6. Is it time to take to the air? Keep an eye on Eckhout, the end on the near side. And the end on the far side is Josh Heinrichs of Giltner. And Heinrichs does take off. They will look Heinrichs' way. He is open. It is incomplete, but a penalty flag is down. They're at about the 7-yard line. And perhaps a defensive hold. That's what Josh Heinrichs sure thinks it is. By George, Josh is just right, too. So the holding penalty against the East defense will result in half the distance and a first down, as they will put it just at the 9-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and goal for the West. This drive is almost to a full 5 minutes after starting from their own 20.
Connected to it.
Leibold, the running back on the near side. And Alex Porky is the running back on the far side. This will be Alex. Little stutter step to bounce to the outside, and he leans down just shy of the 5-yard line. Dixon swarming there. Got some help on the defensive side as well from Brandon Waters from Windside. Brandon, 6 foot, 195, playing for Coach Kent Lawson. So 2nd and goal, they will mark it just inside the 6-yard line. And yeah, we're going all the way to the goal line. So Rush has taken every snap at quarterback on this drive. And he takes this one, and he does hand it off. Leibold looking for the left edge, turns it up, dives for the pylon, and he's got it. A 6-yard touchdown run for Daniel Leibold of Chambers Wheeler Central Ewing, and the West is on the board first with 6:19 to go in the opening period. A 6-yard run for Leibold. And now a lineup for an extra point kick. Hunter Krause of Twin Loop came out a little early with the specialist, so Alex Horkey of Twin Loop also will be his holder. And the long snap of Drake Davenport. And the kick is good. So kick good makes it 7-0. The West on top. With 6:19 to go here in the opening quarter, a commercial break, and we'll be back after this.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Roy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
So how about that? An almost 6-minute drive, just shy of 6 minutes, 5:41 officially off the game clock.
Of course, the football game is not complete without cheerleaders to help bring the crowd.
And an 80-yard drive, and it's capped off by Daniel Leibold's 6-yard run. And the kick by Hunter Kraus makes it 7-0 West on top. So the East will get it for the first time. And that is Kraus with it teed up at his own 40. Now kicking into the wind. That's the other impressive thing about that entire drive. Dead into this south wind that's pretty gusty at about 20-25. Kickoff return, trying to get up the middle and across the 30-yard line there, was Quentin Moles of Bloomfield. So the East All-Stars will take their first possession of the ball game.
Tell people sorry.
We do apologize. We've had some connection issues early on in this game, so if you're trying to watch at home, it might not necessarily be your connection. It's probably ours at this point in the contest. So the East has got the ball for their first time, and they will fake a handoff and carry it over the right side. That happened once or twice for the D1 champs last fall. That is Dalton Bohach from East Butler as he gets it across the 30, almost right to the 35-yard line. Dalton and the Tigers, winners last fall. And what a story they were. A couple losses in the regular season, but just kept finding a way. They will run almost a single back offense, and this time it'll be Quentin Moles. He's looking for the edge. He's got a blocker out in front. Quentin's got right at first down yardage. They will give him the 42, and that will be enough for a first down. So this is the first possession of the game here for the East All-Stars. And they've got it 1st and 10 from just across their own 42-yard line. Again, Bohach in the shotgun with a spread type look. Moles in motion. Now they'll look to throw. Bohach, a lot of time. Wide open player out in the right flat is his teammate, Trevor Havlovitz, and a big catch for the Tiger connection and a first down for the East side. Yes, that happened once or twice last fall as well. Trevor had a fantastic career catching the ball for a team that doesn't throw it a ton. He was the one usually doing the catching. 1,600 yards in his career and 22 touchdowns scored. He's a big, strong kid and a wonderful target out there, especially if you can get a defense to flow one direction. Oh, that tight end dragging across, it's almost criminal how easy it is sometimes. Moles in motion. We'll go all the way across the way. Bohach, quarterback sweep all the way. Gets a crackback block, bounces back in, and a penalty flag is down at the end of that run. We will see John Rouse of Blue Hill and Lane Dicely in on that tackle, but a hold is going to be the call. And so that will be 10 yards back, basically, from the end of that run. So it'll still be first down, but first and about, well, that penalty flag on the 25-yard line. So first and about 12 or 13 yards. I beg your pardon, they put it all the way back to the 39. So not at the end of the run, a little closer before that. So 1st and 15 now for the East All-Stars. Bohach in the shotgun. Send Moles in motion again. Fake it. Quick pass back to the near side. Havlovitz has got it. Has a blocker in front and is taken down inside the 25-yard line there by Daniel Duffy of Kennesaw. But, boy, the tight ends crossing, these receivers crossing, it makes it just so easy for the quarterback. And what was 1st and 15 brings up 2nd and very, very short. That was a gain of 16 yards, almost 17 yards. Real close to getting all of it back. So, again, Bohach in the shotgun. That's Havlovitz is the split receiver near side. Moles, they'll run a little quarterback counter action. Bohach still on his feet. He's got a first down. He's inside the 20, inside the 15. And it will be 1st and 10 for the East All-Stars. Coach Sean Biltoff putting his thumbprint all over this offensive drive for the East squad. If you watch the Tigers at all during the season last year, and especially in the championship game, boy, just back and forth they kept going with motion one way, quarterback up the middle, motion turns into a jet sweep, motion turns into tight ends dragging back across again. A lot of fun to watch. Moles in motion. They flip it forward, and it's picked off in midair. What a catch that time. I believe it was Austin Geis. It was Austin Geis of Elm Creek that catches what is a forward pass, and we're going to have a little extra timeout here for these guys to catch some water. But Geis gets the first fumble recovery of the ball game, 4:17 to go.
In between quarters, between the first and second quarter tonight, we'll be presenting awards.
As we have some time earlier this week during media days, had a chance to catch up with a few of these guys. So we heard from Dalton Bohach of East Butler to see what it was like and what he was looking forward to the most this week.
I know you guys are just getting here, but what are you looking forward to the most this week with the other guys?
I'm looking forward to just like building relationships with everybody, having a nice time, having fun, and coming out the win after this week.
What was it like coming off of a championship for you guys in the fall and then finding out you were going to be able to play in this one?
Oh, it meant a lot. Just being able to come out one more time and be able to play football, because I'm not going to be playing in college, but it'll be fun just to go off in a high note.
And looking forward to playing with Trevor again?
Yeah, it'd be pretty sweet if we could connect on a passer and get a touchdown. It'd be awesome.
Well, we can't ask you anything about the game plan yet. You guys don't even know it, do you?
Yeah, no, not entirely. We'll learn.
Are you going to be on offense or defense?
Yeah, offense.
Offense? Okay. All right.
All right, well, get back to Dalton. He's very excited about playing in this game. I can tell you that. And it will be, again, on offense, Jack Rush, the quarterback from South Loop, in the backfield. And a little counter play for themselves, as that was Leibolt. And this time the East said, nah, that's enough of that stuff. Ashton Doman and Connor Bear in on that tackle. Doman from Humphrey Lindsay Holy Family and Connor Bear from Heartland Community Schools. No gain on that play, so second and 10 from their own 15. After the fumble recovery from Austin Geis. Second and 10 for the West. Rush play action. Tight ends will cross wide open and hanging up there. And this is now just a foot race. Holden Eckhout of Amherst is going to win it. Chalk it up there, 85 yards on the pitch and catch. Breakdown in the backfield, and good night, Bronco.
Pass is complete to Josh Heinrichs for the West touchdown. Correction pass caught by Holden Eckhout.
Right, it was Holden. Boy,
Touchdown.
Heinrichs. Well, yeah, Josh was there to high-five him. But, yeah, 85 yards for Eckhout from Rush. And now on for the extra point kick, Hunter Kraus out of the hold of Alex Horkey, the Twin Loop teammates, playing for Coach Mike Koziel. Good snap. Hold pretty good. That one a little bit to the left, but does sneak in there. And again, going dead into the wind. If you saw the pass, it held up in the wind quite a bit, but with 3:21 left here in the first quarter, it is the West leading 14-0 over the East. We'll be back after this on StrivSports.com.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank. Growing together. It's thanks to you.
So the West defense gives up some yards, but Austin Geis picks off an errant forward pass / pitch on a little inside screen there. Recovers it at the 15, and 2 plays later, Holden Eckhout gets a 85-yard pass from Jack Rush. It wasn't the prettiest pass, but it was so wide open, Eckhout just had to run with it once he caught it. 85 yards later, and an extra point kick. It is 14-0 West. So this is now the East with the kickoff return, again out to the 30-yard line. I think that was 24. Matt Hoffman of Plainview on that kickoff return. Hoffman will stay out there as a running back. 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. So everybody's had to be doing some driving. Actually, the fact that that's that kickoff is so much into the wind, and you're playing on the 11-man field, length, not necessarily the width, but the length gives you some extra room out there. So Bohach in the shotgun, fakes a handoff to Moles, now has to scramble with pressure, throws it near side. It is incomplete and off the hand that time. Intended for Hoffman, but really nice defense when it was up in the air by Spencer Wickman of Palmer. The Tigers, a couple of good seasons back-to-back, and Spencer, a key part of the last couple years for the Tigers. Breaks up that one. In fact, timed the hit on Hoffman well to not let Hoffman come up with a circus catch. So 2nd and 10 with 3:08 to play here in the opening period. Bohach again in the shotgun. The read play, Bohach spinning and churning forward, then gets pulled back once he gets to the 35-yard line.
Ball carried by Dalton Bohach.
On the tackle that time was Jacob Pruitt of Arapahoe, 5'9", 205. I always like the guys that are built like a bowling ball. Jacob coached by Dustin Kronhoffman there at Arapahoe. So 3rd and 5 right at the 35 for the East All-Stars. Had a nice drive the last time, in fact the first time they had it, but gave it up on the fumble at the 15-yard line. Moles in motion. Fake it to him. Bohach wants to roll. Fires it to nobody in particular. Again, pressure in the backfield. That West defense has been able to get a guy through more often than not, and that was the guy we just talked about, Jacob Pruitt. Gets through there, puts some pressure on Bohach, and forces an incomplete pass. So a 3 and out on the defensive side for the West, and they will force an East punt from their own 35-yard line. 28 is Caden Tice from Osceola back to punt. And again, about a 20 or 25-mile wind at his back, but the snap is way over his head. Tice has some time, collects himself, and does get off the kick. And what a kick it is. Takes a big high bounce. It will be fielded at the 15-yard line. And a great open field tackle then by Colby Holden of Friend. Make sure I get the return number right. That was Alex Horkey on the return. And so a great job by Caden Tice to keep his wits about him when all others were losing theirs. So with 2:13 to play here in the first quarter, the West will get it back. What could have been a disaster for the East turns out to be actually a really good punt down to the 18-yard line. Good net, anyway, I should say. And so Rush will go back in the shotgun set. He will fake a handoff. It's a quarterback counter, and the East was coming hard that time.
Ball carried by Jack Rush.
Forcing the issue quickly in the backfield was Anders Jensen from Lawrence Nelson. He drops him for a loss back to the 15-yard line, so a loss of 3 on that play as we're under 2 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Again, at halftime, they will have the Hall of Fame announcements for the 8-man class. Rush coming back out there along with Josh Heinrichs. So one less lineman, one more end. Heinrichs on the far side. Eckhout is the tight end on the near side. So the backs are both to their right of Rush. Fake a handoff, looks to pass, and again wide open was Heinrichs, but that pass actually cut through the wind and was well over his head. But I tell you, these tight ends for the West, they have been running free almost. The defensive backs, the safeties, the last line of defense, been caught looking in the backfield once or twice here in this first quarter. So the clock stops, and it's 3rd and 13 from their own 15-yard line. And again, going into that wind, it hasn't been a problem so far. Last time it was an 85-yard touchdown pass to Eckhout from Rush. Wasn't the greatest throw in the world, but it got there. That's the important thing. Now the 2 receivers to the near side. And a flinch up front, and the East is going to give up 5 yards of the necessary 13 to get for the first down. So 3rd and 8 it will be, or thereabouts.
The East 5-yard penalty brings the ball out to the 20-yard line.
So they'll move it to the 20.
Still 3rd down. 3rd and 8.
but perhaps slightly more manageable. Luke Gideon of Burwell, Mitch Pfeiffer of Mullen, John Coffey of Blue Hill. You can win some ball games with those three head coaches coming at you, and that's the West very well prepared so far in this ball game. 3rd and 8, though, from their own 20-yard line. Taking the snap now, handoff just straight to the near side, and that one not going to get too much, only out to about the 22-yard line on the carry that time by Alex Horkey. That was defended well. I believe that was Brandon Waters that came up for the tackle. So now into punt formation will go Hunter Kraus of Twin Loop. He'll do the punting duties as well. That's Matt Hoffman of Plainville. That is back deep as we're under a minute to go here in this first quarter. Into the breeze is this kick. Kind of a top spin. And Hoffman will field it at the 42. Eludes the first man, now looking for a wall of blockers to his right, but is drugged down from behind. That was great pursuit that time. From behind and pulled down by Thomas Hughes of Burwell. A wrestling champion in February there at the CenturyLink Center in Omaha, and making a nice tackle on special teams here at the 8-Man All-Star Classic. Got 40 seconds to go in this first quarter. I want to say thank you to our sponsors on StrivSports.com that makes a game like this possible, including Truck Center Companies, Cornerstone Bank, and Nova Fitness Equipment. This is a run to the right all the way for Quentin Moles. They lined him up at quarterback that time, and Moles just kind of followed a convoy of blockers to about the 45-yard line, picked up just a couple there. See if we can spot a few of the blockers in front of him for the East All-Stars. Trevor Havlovitz is the end on the near side. That's Carson Dixon actually lined up in the backfield with Moles. So kind of two fullbacks basically in front of Moles. And this is Quentin keeping it to his left. Puts a foot in the ground, cuts up, has a couple more as he gets across the 45 and inside the 42-yard line.
Tackle made by Hunter Kraus.
Hunter Kraus, who just did the punting and the kicking, gets that tackle, and that brings us to the end of the first quarter. It's all West so far, 14-0. West All-Stars leading the 41st edition of the Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Classic here at Hastings College.
We'd like to draw your attention to
My name is William Scarf. I'm a diesel tech here in York, Nebraska for Truck Center Companies. Before I started working here, I helped a smaller mechanic shop, and I did some work here and there. And then I started working on some engines at home in my shop. And then that's when I kind of got my jump with diesel. I've liked the experience they're giving me, the hours they're able to give me, and just the training and all the accessories. Pay is good, benefits are wonderful. Basically, they offer basically all benefits. Pretty happy that I was able to find it so quickly, right after high school basically. It was really jump right into it, and it turns out to be a really good place to start a career.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all.
And the West offense MVP was Jason.
On the field right now, they are announcing last year's offensive and defensive MVPs. On the field, it's 3rd and 4 and a big-time defensive play as Moles could not escape the grasp that time of his defender. That was Mason Lofquist of West Holt that got in there to make a tackle. Mason's dad sporting his All-Star jersey from years back. And then Mason makes a great play on defense for the West squad. Will bring up 4th and 4 as we begin this fourth quarter of play. Again, if you're just joining us, thanks for joining us on StrivSports.com. Moles has taken every snap on this drive from a wildcat, quote-unquote, position. Now he might want to throw it, has some pressure, though. Will look for the edge on the far side. He will have the first down as he slides out of bounds at about the 30. Well, they didn't give him too much. Give him the 37, but it will be enough on 4th and 4. He got 5 and a first down for the East All-Stars. So keeping the drive alive here in the second quarter. So first down, I'll get those chains moved, and Dalton Bohach will come back. Don't forget, if you're on social media, we'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching us from, and who are you rooting for? If you're on Twitter, use the hashtag NE8Man18. Hashtag NE8Man18 as Moles carries it to the near side, and again, really good pursuit from the west. Jacob Pruitt of Arapahoe comes up with that tackle. We've called Jacob's name a couple of times. Quentin Moles is a kid at Bloomfield last fall that had one of those years they talk about a lot for several years after it. 2,659 yards on the season, 5,900 yards for his career. A last-second loss to Fall City Sacred Heart in the quarterfinals there at Bloomfield. That was a tough one to lose for the Bees, but Quentin had a fantastic year, as did the Bees as a team. Bohach stops, lofts one up, and almost off the deflection. Havlovitz had a second crack at it. Instead, it was knocked down by Spencer Wickman of Palmer. And again, now the East going into that wind, so if you don't put a lot of steam or have a nice spiral on your throws, that ball's really going to kind of hang and sail as the East All-Stars take a little break. Marcus, we have a great opportunity here to let people see the promo for A Championship Journey, 2 days in Lincoln.
Practice begins in August, but the dream starts much sooner. Toiling away in the late summer sun, hoping for the chance to play on the state's biggest stage. Surviving the closest games, adding to the legacy. Running away with the big games. Losing the first 3, then winning it all. Winning the first 12, then coming this close to the 13th. Finding a way to finish. 7 Strive schools, 4 champions, 2 days in Lincoln. This is their journey. A championship journey.
Available to watch right now on StriveSports.com. Well, don't watch it right now because this game's going on. But when this one's over, you have more to watch after it. Bohach on 3rd and 8. Has her man right down the middle. It's Hoffman. He's at the 10, at the 5. He's in there. No, he's just shy of the goal line. Matt Hoffman on a big catch, though, from Dalton Bohach. It is 1st and goal from less than a football away for the East All-Stars. Trying to get on the board here. That was a big one on 3rd and long. I thought he was totally in. But I'm not wearing a striped shirt. Ref was also looking in the sun. Just like to point that out. Quentin Moles looks like he will take this snap. He will. Just over the right side. That's a no-doubter from the East All-Stars. Just blowing that line back into the end zone. And a touchdown for Quentin Moles. So the East on the board with 10:09 to go here in the second quarter. And we'll see what the East wants to do for an extra point. Looks like Moles will head back out there. Coaches for the East squad, Greg Wood at High Plains, Matt Maltzberger from Heartland, Sean Biltoff of East Butler, and John Kuchera from High Plains. And that is just wedge middle and good on the conversion by Moles. So Moles runs it in. Moles gets the conversion, and the West still leads 14-8 here in the second quarter. Talk a little bit more about Championship Journey as Dalton Bohach was featured in that. Championship Journey, a mini film, although it didn't turn out to be mini by any stretch of the imagination, that we at Striv were able to produce last fall from the 2 days in Lincoln that covered the culmination of 6 state championship games, from the 8-man ranks all the way to Class A. There were 7 total Striv schools that were represented at the state championships, and we went there with the idea that, well, we'll get as much footage as we can from all of the teams, and if they happen to win the game, then we'll put a cool video together. And then BDS won, then East Butler won D1, BDS won D2, and York won Class B, all on day 1. And the idea quickly changed to, well, I think we probably need to do everybody no matter what. Boone Central Newman Grove was the next day in Class C1. It was an all-Striv game between Centennial and UTAN in Class C2. And then in Class A, Kearney was the Striv representative, coming up just shy against Omaha North. But that film was a lot of fun to produce, and I would highly encourage it if you're a fan of East Butler and BDS. East Butler leads things off and was a lot of fun. And even if you're not a fan of either of those teams, it's pretty cool just to watch a little bit of what we were able to pull off and shoot and film. And thanks to all the coaches that let us do all the things that we did with their team. So championship journey, I would highly recommend it for your viewing pleasure. And then I'd watch it again in August when you send your sons off to football practice on August the 6th. 1st and 10 for the West. They will start at their own 33-yard line. That is Rush in the shotgun. Wants to pass. Wind at his back. Lofts it down the middle. A man is there. A man has his catch at the 40-yard line. A big-time catch that time. Pulled in by, was that Duffy? Nope, 29. That is Josh Heinrichs of Giltner on that one. And Josh pulls down another big catch, as they will mark him actually just across the 41. But with the wind at the back, a little play action and try to go up top. Now Heinrichs will go into the backfield, that's Rush in the backfield. They do look a little alike. Heinrichs has an orange face mask. Oh, bobble in the backfield. Dixon was there quickly, but Rush able to jump back on top of it.
Ball carried by Jack Rush.
And so a loss on the play, move it back to the 44-yard line, a loss of 3. So an extra lineman, that's Tell Spees, and it is not hard to find Mr. Spees. 6'3", 250, and that gentleman played basketball at a high level for the Mullen Broncos last year, getting it into the semifinals against Riverside before falling to the Chargers in that game. But Tell Spees, that is a big old boy on the end of that line for the West offense. Rush fires it deep. A man is out there just over the outstretched arms, though, of his intended receiver.
Pass is incomplete. 3rd down, 3rd and 12.
And trying to get my number straight here. 39. That's not 39. Yeah, it is. 39 is holding that out. Now these guys, there's new jerseys this year, and I don't know if you can tell it real well. You probably can, but it's a tight font and it's got a white outline, which is tough to see. It's okay on the gold, but boy, these green uniforms without binoculars, they're tough to see. Rush in the backfield, play action pass, has pressure, wants a running back screen, caught, tackled right away. That is fantastic defense on the far side. And it was a tackle made there by Cooper Smith of Tri-County, the 6'2", 200-pound linebacker playing for Coach Brett Scheiding. That had a chance to really pop out there in the flat, and it didn't because Mr. Smith was in town. So after the dropped snap resulted in a loss on 1st down after the big pass play, it is nothing after that. And so Hunter Kraus will punt this from his own 44. And he just drills that. That's going to end up in the end zone and a touchback. So a net 24 on the punt, and with 8:10 to go here in the opening half, it is back to the East All-Stars at their own 20-yard line. Don't forget, available later tonight. It might be a little bit. We got to pack up and get back to Henderson and upload still. But we will have the replay of this game right here on this same post. So if your folks, your aunts, your uncles are watching wherever they are and they missed part of the game, well, they can watch it again later on tonight, maybe early tomorrow. That is Bohach. That is Havlovitz. And it's a foot race for Trevor Havlovitz down the far sideline. And he is hogtied and brought down finally by John Rouse. But a big catch for Trevor Havlovitz of East Butler.
Tackle on the play made by Charles Johnson. Pass carries all the way down into West
Charles Johnson, I beg your pardon, was in on that, pulled down that tackle. Charles from Perkins County played for Coach Lance Steffen this past year. Played for Coach Carly Wells last year. Carly was the head coach of the West in this game a year ago. So Bohach has been the man on the move for the East. He sends Quentin Moles in motion. He will wait, a little quarterback counter, spin move, and the whole ball is free, and it's picked up, and the West has got it. And that is Charles Johnson coming up with it.
Ball carried by Dalton Bohach. Fumble on the play was recovered by Charles Johnson for the West. West takes over possession.
So that's the second turnover of the game for the East. And the West will take over at their own 20-yard line. With the wind at their back, Jack Rush in the shotgun. Man in motion is Leibolt. They want a quick out, though, and it is Leibolt. Little one-on-one, makes a spin move, trying to drag his man forward, but finally pulled out across the way.
Pass is complete to Daniel Leibolt.
Brandon Waters made the tackle and then asked to come out really quick, so maybe caught a cleat up underneath the shoulder pads, but an 8-yard pass there. Rush will take the snap, fake a handoff. Jack going to keep it himself to the right, slipped off a tackle in the backfield. He avoided just barely Ryan McAlon of Howells Dodge and slips forward out to the 35 for a first down for the West. Ben Rietziker of Nebraska Lutheran made the tackle for the East. Nebraska Lutheran, one of the opponents for East Butler on their way to a title run. They played in the second round. They actually played that game at Shelby Rising City on the field turf, as Nebraska Lutheran's field was not in great shape, so some good coordination by the schools in the area, and got to play a playoff game on the turf. That had to be fun. Leibolt off the right side. He slips forward for about 5. There's Rietziker again, along with Connor Bear of Heartland. We're in on that tackle for the East defense. Connor will be playing football at the next level at Morningside coming up this fall.
40-yard line brings up second down, 2nd and 5.
But the West has been in control, leading by 6 right now with 6.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Again, the Hall of Fame announcements will be coming up at halftime, and we'll run down those players, coaches, and, yes, announcers that will be heading into the 8-man Hall of Fame. This is a blitz up the middle and eluding a couple, but finally brought down as the running back as finally McAlon gets him there in the backfield. The ball was carried by Alex Horkey of Twin Loop.
Tackle on the play by Ryan McAlon. Brings up 3rd down.
So McAlon makes the tackle, and it's 3rd and 8 as we roll under 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Again, a good south breeze. It's been nice and hot, just like it's been, well, hot everywhere else in the state of Nebraska. But again, if you're on social media, use the hashtag NE8Man18, especially on Twitter. And let us know where you're watching from and who you're rooting for. We would love to know. And we would love to give you a shout-out as well. Timeout here for the West All-Stars.
Nebraska Football Coaches Association will be proud to introduce the latest class to be inducted into the Coaches Association Hall of Fame.
We can take a break. We'll come right back.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
5:37 to go here in the opening half of the 8-man All-Star Classic. 14-8 here in the second quarter. Touchdown run from Daniel Leibold. 6-yard run on the opening possession of the game for the West All-Stars. Put them up after a kick from Hunter Kraus, 7-0. Another touchdown pass from Rush to Eckhout. This is 3rd and long, though, and Rush evades a man. He's got a man wide open on the far side. That is Heinrichs. And Josh gets a huge block. They're going to let it go, and a touchdown for Josh Heinrichs. That is a decleater at about the 30-yard line, and Josh gets all the way in for the score. 62 yards on the catch. That was a well-timed timeout. Got everybody on the right page.
Jack Rush pass complete to Josh Heinrichs. Heinrichs carried it in for a West touchdown.
And now an extra point kick, probably, from Hunter Kraus coming. Hunter 2 for 2 on these, and he kicked them both into the wind. Be looking next week sometime, folks, on the Striv Sports Twitter and Facebook and Instagram accounts if you follow us there.
Extra point attempt is incomplete.
We will be having a video summary of today's game. That kick missed. The West still leading 20-8 here in the first half. Take a short break, and we'll come back to Hastings College after this.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank, growing together. It's thanks to you.
Lloyd Wilson Field here at Hastings College. Hastings College has been the home of the 8-man All-Star Game for a number of years, and we'll be talking about the 8-man Hall of Fame class that will be going into the 8-man Hall of Fame that really just got organized a year ago. So it's another big class just like last year because to a certain extent they got to play catch-up. There's a lot of guys that deserve to go into a Hall of Fame that have represented 8-man football in various ways, from players to coaches to media members to public address announcers. A lot of people that make 8-man football what it is here in the state of Nebraska. So after the 62-yard touchdown catch for Josh Heinrichs from Jack Rush makes it 20-8, the East will take it over on the kickoff return. That's Matt Hoffman of Plainville coming near side, trying to evade one, and he is grabbed by the ankle just barely there. Daniel Duffy of Kennesaw pulled him down, but a nice return out just shy of the 32-yard line.
Tackle on the play by Daniel Duffy.
So 1st and 10 for the East, who has lost a drive on a fumble recovery. They went 3 and out. Then they finally get a touchdown run, a 1-yard run from Quentin Moles. Then a fumble last time that Charles Johnson recovered, and now have it again here in this first half. And fake a handoff, and coming to the near side, I believe that was Brady Oliver of Pender. Yep, that's number 12. Brady carrying it there, played for Coach Andy Welsh this past year. 1,500 yards passing, 25 touchdowns. He added another 684 yards rushing to go along with 10 scores this year for the Pendragons, and perhaps a pretty big upset in that first round. It was an exciting game when they went to Beamer and beat Guardian Angels Central Catholic. It's Quentin Moles on the sweep to the left side. He's got a first down across the 40-yard line. I believe that was Lofquist in on that tackle for the West. At 20-8, it's kind of been the West since that first drive took nearly 6 minutes. Took 5:41 off the game clock to start the game, and that can affect a team when they don't have it for the first 6 minutes of the game. Hoffman is open over the middle. It is tipped at the last second. Oh, that was a touchdown saver there. Miles Davis of Hemmingford came up to knock that one away because Matt Hoffman had snuck behind the defense, and there was nothing but green field turf in front of him. And again, going into that wind, first time we've seen Oliver out there on offense anyway, and so he's still got to figure out how to adjust to it. Oliver again will go in the backfield. Havlovitz is the end on the near side, and going back over to the far side, that's Nolan Cush of Humphrey St. Francis, 6'3", 195. And trying to get a little quarterback run to the near side. Oliver, though, the West, I tell you, the pursuit from the West All-Stars has been really, really good in this ball game. John Rouse was there. Daniel Duffy was there. And it's 3rd and all of 9 yards still to go. Clock stopped as Oliver was out of bounds. Havlovitz is split to the far side. That is Ashton Doman split to the near side for the East. Moles comes in motion. Fake a handoff. This is Oliver keeping it kind of behind left guard there. Got a nice block from Cole Prososki of Fullerton. And it will bring up a 4th and short. Going into the wind, kind of wonder what Coach Greg Wood and Coach Matt Maltzberger and Coach Sean Biltoff want their East squad to do, down 20-8. And remember, the West got it first. So the East does get the ball first, or they should anyway, get the ball first in the second half. This is 4th down and a big 2. Need to get it all the way to the 48. They're just shy of midfield. That's Moles in the backfield with a couple of teammates. All 8 guys for the West defense up tight. They will hand it off near side. That's Dixon, but he is dropped in the backfield. Seeing that, snuffing it out easily. In the backfield that time was Creston Birchinger of Clearwater Orchard. Creston makes the tackle and gets the turnover on downs. So now the West will have an opportunity here from the 46-yard line of the East with 3:23 left and 2 timeouts and the wind at their back. Rush in the shotgun. Fakes one handoff, does give it to the far side. That's Landon Lenz. And he is wrangled out of bounds. Connor Bear was there to usher him out after a loss of 1 on the play. Well, the old crossbuck action. You get the first back to go one way, and here comes the second back with a pulling guard in front of him. But Connor Bear got outside and wouldn't let Lenz turn the corner and dropped him for a loss. 2nd down and a full 12 to go as they move it back to the 49-yard line. So Rush again with those offset backs to his right. Spees is the end on the near side. Play action. Here comes Bear, and Rush almost got away, but Connor Bear was the man there for the East All-Stars. Carson Dixon helped clean it up as well. So backwards on 2 straight plays, and Connor Bear asserting his name for the East defense and moves the ball back into the West territory at their own 46-yard line. Under 3 minutes to go here in the opening half. So it would be a big stop if the East can get this stop and try to get their offense the ball back. You know, the West is probably also going to try to milk a little clock. They're going to take one of their 2 remaining timeouts here in the half, so they will stop the clock at some point. There they go. At 2:34 is where it stops officially on the game clock. So 20-8, the West leading the East. And third down and all of 17 yards to go still. Again, coming up at halftime, we will talk about the 8-man Hall of Fame class for this year. There are some very familiar names for a lot of people that we will be talking about, including the gentleman that flipped the ceremonial coin at the start of our game, the Hyannis Longhorn, Terry Connelly, going into the 8-man Hall of Fame class this year. So we'll talk about Terry and a lot of other very deserving gentlemen, and again, contributions to the 8-man game of football in the state of Nebraska. Coaches, players, administrators, media, officials. It takes a lot of people to make this game and sport what it is in this state, and a good number of them being recognized again this year by the 8-man Football Coaches Association. So this is 3rd and 17 from their own 46 for the West All-Stars. Jack Rush is the quarterback from South Loop. 3-man rush for the East defense. Rush fires it near side. A man is open. He got the toes down. What a catch by Cameron Downing of Anselma Myrna. First down for the West. Well, just kind of running out there with nobody really around him. Caden Tice of Osceola was finally there to usher him out, but somehow sneaking out of there, Cameron Downing didn't have a defender real close to him till finally they realized, hey, there's a guy with the football over there. And pretty cool, I think, that as I look out there, that is not the typical helmet that Caden Tice would have worn his senior year from Osceola. He is already sporting the blue and orange that will be Osceola High Plains, the Storm Dogs, coming to an 8-man field near you this fall. Tice in on that tackle, but Caden sporting the blue shell, if you get a good look at it, the blue shell of High Plains and the orange face mask and bulldog stripe of Osceola. So OHP, there's a good look at Caden, and one of the really cool things for All-Star games is, especially for football, is the swapping of helmet stickers. So you see a little bit of everything on that helmet there for Caden as well. 2nd down and 5 to go. Rush in the backfield, hands it off this time over to the left side, and a tackle made inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. On the carry that time was Alex Horkey of Twin Loop. So 3rd down, and I think we're going to call it 2. From the 18, got to get to the 16 as we are under a minute 20. So this is perfectly done here by the West All-Stars. However it finishes, had the ball for 2.5 minutes on this drive going with the wind. They will hand it off right side. Now cutting back into the middle. This is a touchdown run for Daniel Leibolt, his 2nd of the ball game. The Renegade finds pay dirt again from this time from 18 yards. So his 2nd, and it's 26-8. West on top. The West has won back-to-back of these games, 36-14 back in 2016, and last year, 38-20. The extra point kick coming from Hunter Kraus of Twin Loop. Better snap that time. He missed the last one. Got undercut as well. Still made the kick. And that makes it 27-8. The West on top. A short break, and we will come back. for the final minute of the first half.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
So a minute left to go here in this first half, and the West capitalizes on a turnover on downs. They get a tackle for loss right near midfield. They took over at the East 46. It took them 2 minutes and 21 seconds, and it ends with an 18-yard Daniel Leibold touchdown run, his second of the game. The extra point kick from Hunter Kraus left it 27-8 here with a minute to go in the first half. Hoffman will field that from the 11, and the Plainview native will scoot out at the 35-yard line. So from their own 35 is where the East will have it. 1st and 10 with 56 seconds to go. They do have a couple of timeouts remaining. And again, moving into the wind, the East does get the ball first in the second half. Brady Oliver from Pender is the quarterback in this formation. Havlovitz and Hoffman to the left. That's Moles in motion. They will play action, a pass, fire it back over the middle. It is caught. That is Cush. And it's a big play and a first down for the East with some time to go as they get it all the way down to the 33-yard line. And 1st and 10 coming across the formation that time. Nolan Cush and Brady Oliver knew exactly where his gap was going to be and kind of planted that foot and just fired it downfield. Well done. And now the clock rolls. Around 40 seconds, Cush now is the split man to the near side with Moles inside. No, actually a little in and out route that time. The intended receiver was Colby Holden, a friend, and the pass falls incomplete from Oliver, so 2nd and 10, it does stop the clock. And again, moving into the wind, so you'd think that we'd see some short passes completed in this game. No, every pass has been thrown at least 15 yards down the field. Doesn't matter if you're going with or against the wind. Cush split to the near side. Havlovitz was to the far side. Oliver steps up, fires it late. Cush off the top of his hands and incomplete. It was good defense there by Spencer Wickman of Palmer on the backside as Cush was dragging back to his left. And now 3rd and 10 upcoming with 30 seconds to go for the East All-Stars. You know, the first pass that Brady Oliver threw was kind of hung up in that wind and maybe didn't have a lot of steam behind it. But since then, going into this 20, 25-mile-an-hour breeze, he's been able to put a little more zip on it. We'll see if the West brings some pressure. Moles goes in motion. 3-man rush. Now a delayed on the 4 and down the field. And nobody was going to get to that. Trevor Havlovitz was the intended receiver, but Oliver fired it well over his head. And Trevor's, he's a heck of an athlete, but he wasn't going to catch up to that one. And the East here is going to take a timeout as it is 4th and 10. So they get the big pass play to Cush on first down on the first play of this drive. But 3 straight incompletions have left it at 4 and 10. Don't forget to use the hashtag if you're on Twitter to let us know where you're watching from and who you might be rooting for. Hashtag NE8Man18. NE8Man18. You can also tag us at Striv Sports on Twitter. That way we can see it. If you're on Facebook, leave a message for us on the Striv Sports Facebook page. And if you're on Instagram, we're just Striv TV on Instagram. But we've got some photos up there, maybe a little Instagram story. Ben Mohorn is on the field, and expect a high-quality montage of shots at some point next week. Ben has been doing some great work for us with Striv here for the last couple of weeks. since he graduated from York in May. He's really done a nice job, but we will all be looking forward to the hype video from the All-Star Classic. So 4th and 10 for the East. Moles in motion. Oliver rolling to his right. Tons of pressure, and he's going to be brought down. Nothing doing. Daniel Duffy puts Oliver back at the 45-yard line, 46-yard line even, and a big sack and a turnover on downs once again. So the West will have it. And Rush will go under center. He hasn't done this yet. And he will just take a knee, and that will be your half. So all West here in this first half from the 8-man All-Star Classic, 27-8 is going to be our halftime score. And we'll tally a few things up and have some stats. And like we said, we'll talk extensively about the 8-man Hall of Fame class that will be inducted here during the halftime break. It is all West, though, right now, 27-8 at halftime of the 41st edition of the Sertoma 8-man All-Star Classic here from Hastings College. Halftime break is coming up, and we'll talk about that Hall of Fame class after that.
My name is William Scarf. I'm a diesel tech here in York, Nebraska for Truck Center Companies. Before I started working here, I helped a smaller mechanic shop, and I did some work here and there. And then I started working on some engines at home in my shop. And then that's when I kind of got my jump with diesel. I've liked the experience they're giving me, the hours they're able to give me, and just the training and all the accessories. Pay is good, benefits are wonderful. Basically, they offer basically all benefits. Pretty happy that I was able to find it so quickly, right after high school basically. It was really jump right into it, and turns out to be a really good place to start a career.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank. Growing together.
Our first member of the Hall of Fame class is Russ Horse. Russ has been the PAA announcer and member of the Sertoma Club. He is joined by his wife Mary and his brother Gary. Russ has been the announcer for the 8-man All-Star Game for nearly 3 decades and is a key contributor to the annual tradition's success. His contributions to the game began as a member of the sports department at KHS-TV in Hastings. In his elder days, he helped produce an 8-man All-Star pregame special for local viewers. After spending multiple years around the All-Star camp as a reporter, Russ became a full-time member of the Hastings Sertoma Club back in 1991. Ladies and gentlemen, Russ Horse. The next member of the 8-man All-Star Hall of Fame, Nolan Meyer out of Sydney St. Patrick's High School. Nolan is joined by Dana, his sister, mom, dad, and Coach Dick Scott. As a quarterback, running back, and linebacker, Nolan led St. Pat's to the state playoffs 3 times in his career, including the state semifinal appearance in his sophomore and junior years. His proudest moment as a player came in 1986, when he helped his team to an undefeated season in the Class D2 State Football Championship. From 1982 to 1986,
he set a school career rushing record with 3,585 yards and was chosen first team all-conference 3 times, first team all-state 3 times, and regional offensive player of the year twice. Ladies and gentlemen, Nolan Meyer. From Hyannis High School, the next Hall of Fame inductee, Terry Connelly. Terry, joined by his wife Lisa, his 4 children, and his mom Donna. From 1986 to 1989, Terry had a standout 8-man football career. He was selected to the all-conference football team 3 times, while also playing a huge role in leading the Longhorns to the 1988 state playoffs. In his senior season, he was named to the Class D2 first team, as well as the all-class all-state football team. Terry played in the 1980 8-man All-Star game and was chosen as its most valuable defensive player of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Terry Connelly. Our next inductee, Brent Gatzmeyer out of Bancroft Rosalie High School. Brent, joined by his wife Tiffany, his children, and mother. Brent's 8-man career included many record-breaking performances. He set the state career rushing record at the time with 5,354 total yards. He also set many of his own school rushing records, including career yards and career touchdowns. As a sophomore, Brent's 1,943 yards and 34 touchdowns helped propel his team to the 1985 Class D1 state title. Ladies and gentlemen, Brent Gatzmeyer. We welcome Scott Gray into the 8-man Hall of Fame from Coleridge High School. Scott is joined by his wife Angela and 2 sons. From 1984 to 1987, Scott rewrote the 8-man football record books. During his time in high school, he set the state career rushing record at the time with 5,632 yards. As a sophomore and junior at Coleridge, he helped lead his team to 2 consecutive state runner-up finishes. Then his proudest moment as a player came during his senior season when he led the Bulldogs to an undefeated season and the 1987 Class D2 state title. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Gray. From Beamer High School, Craig Haas. Craig is joined by his brothers Brian, Arvid, and Jason. Craig was an outstanding player for Hall of Fame coach Ron Peck's dominant Beamer teams in the late 1970s. As a junior and senior in 1978 and 1979, he carried the load for the undefeated Bobcats while leading his team to back-to-back Class D1 state championships. Craig's highly decorated career includes being selected first team all-conference twice. He was a 3-time 1,000-yard rusher and compiled over 4,000 career rushing yards. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Haas. Please welcome from Polk Hordeville High School, Dale Van Housen. Dale is joined by his wife Hillary and his 2 children. Dale was a standout ball carrier in a family of ball carriers. From 1987 to 1989, he became one of the all-time great running backs in state history while leading Polk Hordeville to 4 undefeated regular seasons and 4 subsequent playoff appearances. In his senior year, Dale was the state's all-class leading rusher with 2,614 yards and was named 8-man Offensive Player of the Year, first team All-State, second team All-Nebraska, and Nebraska High School Athlete of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, Dale Van Housen. From Eagle High School, Levain Johnson. Levain is joined by his wife Rosanna. Levain was a player ahead of his time during the Eagles' undefeated 1959 football season. In his senior year, he set a single-season state record at the time with 208 points scored. In just 9 games, he scored 33 touchdowns, made 20 conversions, and carried the ball 159 times for 1,848 yards. Levain also amassed 303 yards passing, 115 unassisted tackles, and averaged 35 yards per punt. He earned first-team All-State honors in both the Omaha World Herald and Lincoln Journal-Star. Ladies and gentlemen, Levain Johnson. From Humboldt High School, Ken Malin. Ken is joined by his wife Sydney and his 3 children. In high school, Ken was a dominating blocker and defender that led Humboldt to the 1987 quarterfinals and then on to an undefeated 1988 season that culminated with the Class D2 state championship. During both his junior and senior years, he was named First Team All-Conference, Academic All-State, and First Team All-State. As a senior, Ken was also selected as the honorary captain of the All-State team. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Malin. From Marquette High School, Lynn Mankey. Lynn is joined by his wife Carol, his children, and his coach. From 1981 to 1985, Lynn was an outstanding two-sport athlete in both football and track. In 1983, he made the most of his high school's one and only football playoff appearance by leading Marquette to an undefeated season and the 1983 Class D2 state championship. That year, he was part of the state's most prolific backfield. He was named First Team All-Conference, First Team All-State, while becoming a three-time 1,000-yard rusher and compiling over 4,500 career yards. Ladies and gentlemen, Lynn Mankey. A sports writer and historian, we welcome Bobby Mills to the 8-Man Hall of Fame. Bobby is joined by his wife Carla, his children, his sister, and brother-in-law. Known as the 1,000-yard guy and a great follow on Twitter, from the Grand Island Independent, Bobby is one of the most respected members of the Nebraska high school sports media. For 5 decades, he has chronicled the success and achievements of teams and players from across the state with his annual 1,000-yard list. Bobby's efforts to promote the 8-man game from his platform have been paramount to its continued growth and success over the years. His efforts to spotlight our sport have always included a tremendous amount of respect for the players, coaches, and the fans of the Nebraska 8-man ranks. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1,000-yard man, Bobby Mills. From Lindsay Holy Family High School, Coach Bill Mimick. Bill is joined by his brother Ron, former player Tony Hoffman. Bill has dedicated nearly 50 years of his life to coaching 8-man football. From 1971 to 2018, he's mentored countless players while making stops at Monroe, Lynch, Spencer Napier, Newman Grove, and Lindsay Holy Family High Schools. Known for coaching sound fundamentals and strong conditioning, his teams have appeared in 16 state playoffs, including 3 semifinals. One of Coach Mimick's many career highlights includes his undefeated Spencer Napier Pirates winning the 1988 Class D1 state championship. Over the years, he's coached in both the 1985 and 1987 8-man All-Star games. He has also played 23 of his athletes selected to play in the All-Star game. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Bill Mimick. From Spencer Napier High School, Jeff Mimick. Jeff is joined by his wife Randy, his 3 children, his sister, and family. During his career, Jeff led the Pirates to the state playoffs 3 times, including a state semifinal appearance in 2001. He gained 2,479 rushing yards and scored 50 touchdowns as a junior and senior, while also compiling a state record 541 career tackles. Jeff received first-team All-District honors 4 times and was named first-team All-State twice. In the summer of 2005, he was selected to play in the 8-man All-Star game, the Nebraska Shrine Bowl, and Nebraska versus Oklahoma 8-man All-Star game. He went on to play linebacker at Southwest Minnesota State University, where he led his team in sacks and was selected to an all-conference team as a freshman. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Mimick. From Spencer Napier High School, Tom Mimick. Tom is joined by his wife Paula. Tom was a standout player for Hall of Fame coach Bill Mimick's powerful Spencer Napier teams in the early 1990s. In his career, he led the Pirates to 3 state playoff appearances, including the state semifinals in both 1991 and 1992. In his first and only season in the backfield, Tom set a school record with 2,168 rushing yards. As a senior, he amassed a single-season school record with 174 total tackles from the linebacker position. He received first-team All-Area, first-team All-Conference, and first-team All-State honors on both sides of the ball as both a junior and a senior. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Mimick. From Beamer High School, Coach Ron Peck. Ron is joined by his wife, his 3 children, and Lonnie. Ron began his 60-year football odyssey in 1955 as an 8-man football player in Coleridge. After high school, he went on to serve as both a player and an assistant coach for Wayne State College. He then arrived in Beamer, Nebraska in the fall of 1977, and after an appearance in the state playoffs in his first season, Ron led his team to back-to-back undefeated seasons and a state championship in both 1978 and 1979. During that span, the Bobcats compiled a 32-game winning streak and won the first Class D1 overtime championship game in state history. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Ron Peck. From Elba High School, Randy Rasmussen. After playing 8-man football for Elba, Randy went on to an outstanding college football career at Kearney State College. From 1963 to 1966, he played alongside his brothers Gary and Bob, and the Antelopes lost just 4 games in 4 years. Randy was then drafted in the 12th round of the 1967 NFL Draft to play for the New York Jets. One of his many highlights included playing in the very first Monday Night Football broadcast. However, his greatest accomplishment came during the 1969 season when his team pulled off the greatest upset in NFL history by defeating the Baltimore Colts to win Super Bowl III. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Rasmussen. From Ansley High School, Jim Scott. In high school, Jim was a standout multi-sport athlete at Ansley while playing for Hall of Fame coach Dan Moore. He was part of 2 state runner-up teams in his junior season. He anchored the line of scrimmage while leading the Warriors to the 1986 Class D1 state championship. During his high school career, Jim was named First Team All-Conference, First Team All-State multiple times, and was also selected to the 1988 8-Man All-Star Game. He went on to start at center in 1991 and 1992 for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. As a senior, Jim was named to the All-Big 8 Conference team, as well as being selected as an academic All-Conference honoree. In 1993, he signed as a free agent with the National Football League Chicago Bears. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Scott. Jim is joined by his wife Shelley and 3 children. From Sterling High School, Dean Steinkühler. Dean is joined by his son Ty and Ty's wife Robin. Among the top offensive linemen to ever play the game, Dean's standout career began as an 8-man football player for the Jets back in 1978. In high school, he was selected both First Team All-Conference, First Team All-State as a fullback and linebacker. After graduation, Dean received a scholarship to play for the University of Nebraska, where he went on to become a Husker legend. As a senior, he helped create polls for the 1983 Heisman Trophy winner on his way to being honored as both the Lombardi and Outland Trophy winner. He was named to nearly every All-American list in the country, and his number 71 jersey was later retired at Nebraska. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Steinkühler. And once again, a big round of applause to this year's class of the Nebraska 8-Man Football Hall of Fame.
To you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank. Growing together.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to the Nebraska 8-Man Coaches Association and the Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Classic here at Hastings College. Thanks for joining us on StrivSports.com. My name is Eric Allgood. One of the fun parts of this week is a special media day on Monday that the Coaches Association puts together as a way for media from the area and from beyond to be able to come in and interview some players, some coaches, other people associated with this 8-man All-Star game. We had a chance earlier this week to catch up with a few of them. One of them was a guy who we caught up with his older brother a few years ago, but we heard this week from Carson Dixon of BDS.
You get to be another Dixon to play in this
yeah.
game. So what's it like to be able to follow him Big Bros?
It's very exciting. It's a lot to live up to. I mean, he got the defensive MVP, I think, and so I'm just trying to live up to his standards that he set, and I'm trying to get better and meet new people, obviously, and so it's very exciting.
To represent Burning down Port Fickley in this game, you guys have been on some kind of roll the last 4 years. What's it like to be able to add your name to that list, too?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite the honor, you know, the long list of guys from BDS who have made it this far, and have just been successful in high school, and so it's an honor to be able to play in the same kind of atmosphere that they got the opportunity to play in. So,
what are you looking forward to the most outside of football practices and the game? There's a lot of other stuff you guys do throughout the week. What are you looking forward to?
Bowling tonight will be pretty fun. I'm a pretty competitive guy, so anything, bowling, golfing, anything, I'm trying to try my best. I need to win kind of thing. So it's that need to win mentality, and so I just kind of bring that to the table everywhere I go. So.
And you get to put pads on again. What is that for a guy that likes to hit? I know that.
Yeah.
What is that? Does that get the juices flowing a little bit?
Yeah. It feels like forever since I've last put the pads on, and I'm just really excited to get that opportunity to hit someone again. It's been a while, basically kind of like hitting someone for free in a way,
And not get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't think he was until he was. Very concerned about the way his hair looked during that interview. But Carson Dixon from BDS also had a chance to catch up with Quentin Moles of Bloomfield. Wanted to corral the fastest bee that we've seen for a while. This is what he had to say.
First of all, what is it like to be able to say you get to represent Bloomfield again and represent your community for this game?
It's pretty cool. It's an honor to be able to come play another game of football, another 8-man game of football. This will be my last game playing 8-man, obviously, so it should be pretty neat playing with a bunch of all-stars.
Yeah, and all-stars. There's guys that are not just good football players, but good athletes across the board. So what are you looking forward to the most this week for practices?
Being with a bunch of athletes, I guess. I don't know. It'll be pretty neat being surrounded by a bunch of good guys and hopefully making a bunch of new friendships and stuff.
You carried it a lot this last year for the Bees.
Yeah.
So what are you looking forward to for the most for Saturday?
Getting a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards and stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to contribute. I'm going to try to contribute, the most I can to help us win, I guess. So I'll do my best.
You guys have a lot of activities, and I know you haven't gotten through them, obviously, but a lot of activities throughout the week. What's some of the things that you're looking forward to outside of football that the rest of this week entails?
Just making a bunch of friends, get new followers on Instagram. But, yeah, it should be a fun week.
Okay. And what is it like to be able to represent Bloomfield for Saturday?
It's an honor, obviously. Hopefully I can go home and tell them all my stories and how good I did, and hopefully I got some supporters coming up to see me.
Again, thanks to Quentin Moles. It was fun to talk to him. And while we're talking with all these kids, yes, we talked to Connor Bear, who had probably the best defensive game for the East in the first half.
What is it? What are you looking forward to the most this week? Is it on the field or is it off the field?
I think a lot of it's off the field. You get to meet a lot of good guys here. The coaches all say we're all leaders of our team, so to kind of mesh together, I think it's really cool, and then I'll put it together for one game in the end. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. So.
Do you know you're going to be offense or defense here?
Defense.
Defense, cool. So what are you looking forward to the most? You got other guys on this that were all-state and championship type caliber guys. So what's it like to be with them?
Yeah, I watched. My roommate's actually Carson Dixon, and I got to watch him in the finals game. He absolutely tore it up. So he'll be playing the opposite end as me. So just kind of playing with him, I think will be fun. And it's been a while since we played football, so hitting some people will be fun.
So you're looking forward to one-on-one matchups then?
I guess you could say that, yeah. I'm excited to play the football game, so just the game in general is going to be fun to play again.
To represent Heartland one more time, what are you looking forward to the most?
It's incredible. They've given so much to me, so it's good to be able to give back to the community. My teammates, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be playing in this game, so it's just kind of great to play this for them, so to say.
And again, thanks to Carson and Quentin and Connor on the East squad there for taking some time. If you've noticed, we've talked to a lot of the East squad kids because when I had gotten there on Monday, unfortunately, the West team had already moved out to the practice field, so they were in it. So I missed my window, so I apologize about that. But I know these West kids would echo a lot of these sentiments from those players on the East side, and what a cool thing it is to play in this game. And I think it's interesting that, you can ask the kids that are in this game here today and playing, you can ask them on Monday, hey, what are you most looking forward to? A lot of them will say, I'm really looking forward to Saturday. I'm looking forward to playing with and against guys that I played I played, looking forward to playing with guys that I had to go against so many times in high school, and play against guys, that I've probably never played against. It would be interesting if you asked them 20 years down the road what was the best part of this week. I bet a lot of them wouldn't say the game. There's a few dads with some jerseys from back in the day in the crowd right now, and if you ask those dads, I bet they would say, no, the best part is not the game itself. It is the rest of the week and meeting the guys and hanging out and practicing and getting underway for the second half. This is Quentin Moles coming across the 25 and 30 yard line before he is tackled there. So the East All-Stars will take over 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Not a lot doing for the East All-Stars in that first half. A 1-yard touchdown run for Quentin Moles. That was their third possession of the game. Their first possession ended up all the way down to the 15-yard line of the West, but turned into a fumble that Geis recovered, and it was tough sledding after that for the East All-Stars. They come with a quarterback counter and with Dalton Bohach of East Butler, who played through the first quarter and into the second quarter before giving way to Brady Oliver of Pender. But he is back out there as QB1, as we alluded to him, in a championship journey. It is 2nd down and 6 on the first possession of the second half for the East All-Stars, trailing 27-8. Quentin Moles in motion. He will get the carry. Good blocks on the edge, and then Spencer Wickman of Palmer comes up from a safety spot and makes a nice tackle. And 3rd down and short yardage to go for the East. And again, the wind out of the south, so that is in the face of the East offense, and it's blowing good, 25 miles an hour perhaps. Not quite sure it's the U.S. Open, but it's tough out there. 3rd and short, and all 8 defenders up for the West. That is Quentin Moles, left side, spins forward, and I believe he got that first down yardage. Carson Dixon was a lead blocker out there, along with Trevor Havlovitz, and their officials are going to take a quick look, and they're going to say first down on the carry for Quentin Moles. It's interesting to look through the program for the 8-man All-Star game and realize just how many records were set in that first game back in 1978. Points, 58 by the East. Points by both teams, 84. It was 58-26, and the most points by the losing team, 26. So the first one to 27 apparently has been good in all these years, the 8-man All-Star game. This is Bohach slipping forward. He's got 11 yards and a first down. The East Butler Tiger has it to the 45 of the West. Wickman again, we've called his name the Palmer Tiger a few times there from a safety spot. Splitting to the near side is Colby Holden for the East. He is the friend Bulldog, and now he goes in motion. He will get the carry to the left side. Just puts his head down, plunges forward for a couple to about the 43-yard line. Lane Deichley of Blue Hill was over there. Lane, a linebacker / DN, 6'2", 215. He carried the ball plenty of times as well in the past year for Coach John Coffey at Blue Hill. Runners up to BDS in the D2 game. But there wasn't a lot that too many D2 teams could have done. Maybe even some D1 teams that they could have done to slow down the juggernaut. Whoop, that's too many guys in motion at one time there, and Bohach just going to have to eat this one. This is not Canadian football, gentlemen. You cannot have more than one player in motion at the same time. And you would think one of them would stop, though. You know, usually you get two guys in motion and they see each other and somebody freezes like, whoop, I'm not supposed to go. And nope. But I tell you, if you could, it'd be a heck of a playoff or a play, right? I mean, you had two guys coming in motion. Now the defense going to be literally frozen, trying to figure out who's going to get it. But no, there's probably a reason that the officials got together so long ago and said, "Nah, we probably shouldn't have two guys available
Second
in
and
motion.
13 east
So after
on
the
the
penalty,
west,
second and 13.
48-yard line.
Don't forget, after the game tonight, by the time we get back to Henderson, you can watch a replay of this game in its entirety right here on StrivSports.com. Cush, the intended receiver, but Bohach spins that one a little too far down the field. It was really good defense, actually, there. Miles Davis of Hemingford was in on the coverage, and he wasn't letting Mr. Cush, that's Nolan Cush, because there's how many Cushes have been through Humphrey St. Francis schools over the years, but that's Nolan, and he was the intended receiver. Had a couple of catches back in the first half, did Nolan. 3rd and 13 after the penalty, an incomplete pass now. 9:12 remaining here, third quarter, and the East trailing by 19. Bohach in the shotgun. 3-man rush for the West. Now just 2 guys up there, and Bohach has it tipped right back at him. This is still going. He can throw it again if he needs to. Bohach looking for a block. They're going to get him in the backfield and drag him down. That is technically a completed pass from Bohach to Bohach for a loss of 1. That's one way to get your penalty or your completion percentage up.
Tackle on the play by Austin Geis.
Austin Geis of Elm Creek makes the tackle to stop the carnage. And 4th and 15, this will be a punting situation. And that is Tice, a low snap, does get the kick off. Takes a good bounce, a really good bounce. Look at this. On the field turf, Caden's like, man, I love the field turf. It's a 45-yard punt down to the 5-yard, 44-yard punt down to the 5.
The 5-yard line.
So at least a long field, but the wind at their back for the West. Their first time out with it here in the second half, leading 27-8. Touchdowns in the first half, courtesy of Daniel Leibolt from 6 yards out on the first possession of the game. That scoring drive took 5 minutes and 41 seconds off the game clock. A very nice job there right out of the gate by the West. An 80-yard drive. The next time they had it, it was a 85-yard touchdown pass to hold the neck out from Jack Rush, and they have not looked back since. This is Jack Rush carrying it to the right on the quarterback sweep the whole way. Ball came out, but whistles were blowing, and, well, the West came up with it anyway, so Rush will get a couple of yards there. And now I think that might be Jack. Yep, that's Rush. That is slow to get up. Kind of holding that right arm out there a little gingerly.
By Jack Rush. Tackle on the play by Holden Stingle.
Holden Stingle in on that tackle. Holden, one of those BDS Eagles. Well, there they get the clock stopped with 7:27. So a new quarterback, which hasn't been called on too often. This is going to be Charles Johnson from Perkins County, who has played defense exclusively so far for the West. But Charles was a really nice option quarterback on that veer option look that the Plainsmen ran for the last couple of years. Got to see him when he was a junior when they hosted Dundee County Stratton. Good game between two really good offenses, and Charles was a bit of a wizard with that option look, so he will go under center. Daniel Leibolt is his running back behind him. And they will hand it to Leibolt off the right side, and Holden Stengel pulls him down quickly. Carson Dixon was there as well, so both of the Eagles in on that one. And a couple of yards out across the 10, and they will mark it with the nose on the 12. So third down at about 3 here.
Ball carried by Alex Horkey. Tackle on the play was by Holden.
Excuse me, that was Horkey.
Brings up
well, they
third
said
and 4 from the 11.
Rush is back out there at quarterback. And a penalty flag came down before that play got going, so perhaps lining up in the neutral zone had to be the infraction. Nobody jumped. There wasn't anybody really set to go for the play, and so 5 yards equals the first down there for the West. 6:50 to go.
Someone that is needing to leave. If you're driving County 49-532S, 49-532S.
So Rush back out there at quarterback. He has got Leibold to his left. And he's got Heinrich split to the near side. Josh on the quick outs. The pass is caught by Heinrichs, and he's tackled at the 25-yard line. A little pitch and catch there. Tackle made by Ashton Doman of Humphrey Lindsay Holy Family, playing for Coach Bill Mimick, who was honored at halftime, putting himself and a couple of sons into the 8-man Hall of Fame. Ashton on offense this year had 1,800 yards rushing, or actually for his career, 573 passing yards, 815 rushing yards, and 800 yards receiving. Yet he makes the tackle on defense there. And across the 25, that'll be enough for a first down, a gain of 3 on the play for Daniel Leibold, the Renegade from Chambers Wheeler Central Ewing. I believe we met Daniel's mom actually walking into the stadium tonight, concerned that Daniel's dad wasn't going to make it. So to the Leibolds, hello, your son's pretty good. He's a star among all-stars right now with a couple of touchdown runs in that first half from 6 yards on that first possession. And then he added an 18-yard run with a minute left in the first half. Solid game for the Renegade. 5:25 and counting here in the third quarter. Handoff, a little slippery move. That's Alex Horkey as he gets popped across the 35-yard line. That last spin and tackle courtesy of Brandon Waters of Winside. Ashton Doman was in there as well.
35-yard line, second down,
so
2nd and 4.
6 yards on the play, 2nd and 4 upcoming. Just under 5 minutes to go. Already 3 minutes off the game clock. And this is just an inside give that time to Leibold. He squirts forward for 1 or 2. Carson Dixon was there first. Lucas Thigstad of Why Not helping to clean things up. 3rd and short upcoming for the West. The West All-Stars, winners of back-to-back in this game. The East had won 2 previous in 2014 and 15, and before that, the West had won 6 in a row. And a quarterback sneak from Jack Rush. He's got the first down out to the 40-yard line. Again, the coaches for the West squad, Luke Gideon from Burwell, Mitch Pfeiffer from Mullen, and John Coffey from Blue Hill. Burwell, the 2016 D1 champs. Blue Hill, the runners-up in D2 to BDS this year. So between Coach Gideon and Coach Coffey, you've got finals experience, and of course with Coach Pfeiffer, you've got semifinal experience with the Mullen Broncos. This is another nice run from Daniel Leibold, who has been the man for the West offense. Pulled down from behind, but he's into the East All-Star territory.
He's into East territory
down to the 47-yard line.
West first down.
Lucas Thigstad was in on that tackle for the East. He comes out. In place of him is Caden Tice from Osceola. And this time it'll be Horkey up the middle. Alex on his feet. Pulled down from behind by Ben Bowling of Johnson Brock there, but another nice run.
Tackle made by Caden Tice. Carries down to the 39-yard line. 2nd down, 2nd and 2.
2nd and 2 as they mark it to the 39-yard line. more all-star games in the state of Nebraska. There's some volleyball and basketball to be played elsewhere across the state tonight. June is the month of the all-star. It's a lot of fun. Striv Sports, we hosted one last week, a basketball game at York High School. As that popping out of there for another nice run. There he goes. Daniel Leibold is into the end zone. Again, 39 yards for his third score of the game. So he's run from 6, from 18, and from 39. That should match an 8-man all-star game record. 3 touchdowns in the ball game. Plenty of carries in this one, too. Touchdowns, 3. That's the record. Vidosh and Perlinger in 1978. Nitschke in 88. Bowersax in 2000. Malati in 2002.
Offsides penalty on the West as they're lining up for the.
And Michael Gibbons of Twin Loop in 2017. Chris Konachek of Clarkson Lee in 2015. 3's the magic number. But Daniel Leibold has 3 with 2:31 to go here in this third quarter. That drive took almost 6 minutes off the game clock. The West just grinding it out. Rush again in the backfield. Handed off this time. Well, he flips it backwards, and look at this. A chance for Rush. No, a great open field tackle by Ashton Doman. That would have been just something kind of silly if that would have gone for 2. You got to have some fun, right? In the All-Star game. 33-8, it's all West right now. We'll take a short break, and we can catch up with Heartland coach Matt Maltzberger as we talked to him earlier this week about what it means for him to coach in this All-Star game.
What does it mean to be able to represent Heartland in this game before you go head back to York, but to be a part of the Heartland Huskies one more time?
Well, it's definitely exciting, to be here and represent Heartland Community Schools in a fashion in which we always represent ourselves and the class, how we say it at Heartland, the class, which is that of Heartland. Just excited for the community, excited for Connor, excited for his family, and excited for our football family.
What are you looking forward to as far as getting together with the coaches? I know I've heard this before. You guys kind of almost treat this like a mini clinic for the week where you guys bounce ideas off of each other. Going back into the 11-man ranks, what are you looking forward to talking with these guys one more time?
It's always a professional development session. Coaches that do things that work for them, you take that away from what they do that's been successful. You give them some stuff that's been successful, and there's a ground of commonality.
Kickoff from Hunter Kraus. And a return up the middle across the 35 there. How about these scoring drives for the West in this ball game? 80-yard drive after the touchback on the kickoff to start things up. 6-yard touchdown run for Daniel Leibold. Their next possession, they started their own 15, 2 plays, 85 yards. 85 yards was the catch for holding neck out from Jack Rush. The next score for the West came on a 62-yard pass, but from their own 20, so an 80-yard drive, and then only 46 yards on their last touchdown drive of the first half, but that touchdown drive, 95 yards. The offense is very, very good for the West so far. Dalton Bohach of East Butler carrying it there for the East squad.
By Lane Dicely. Carry is out to the 40-yard line, brings up second down, 2nd and 6.
So far, a punt for the East on their only possession of this second half as Bohach will go into the shotgun. Send Quentin Moles in motion. They'll hand it off to Quentin. Looking for the left side. Leans forward. Ushered out of bounds. Then by Spencer Wickman of Palmer.
By Quentin Moles.
Shy of the first down, though. As they mark him at the 44, he needs the 45.
Brings up third down, 3rd and 2.
Actually, just across the 45, so shortish 2 yards with 1:43 to go here in the third quarter. Bohach with Hoffman from Plainview. There in the backfield with him. Will hand it off to Matt. Tries to slip forward, and he doesn't make it. great tackle again. That's Lane Dicely making the tackle.
Tackle on the play made by Mason Lofquist.
Mason Lofquist of West Holt was there as well. And it's 4th and short for the East. They have converted a couple of 4th downs as Carson Dixon will come out there. We also see Cooper Smith. So those are the two big quote-unquote fullbacks. Holden Stengel also is into the game. He replaces Prososki. So the two big fullbacks in front of Quentin Moles has been the heavy set. And it's Moles right up the gut. And I think he's going to have, it's going to be right at the first down marker.
Ball carried by Quentin Moles.
Hunter Kraus was in on that tackle, but it will be enough for a first down. He did cross the 45. Give him all the way to the nose of the 46, and it will be a first down here for the East. Bohach again in the shotgun. That's Hoffman in motion. Give it to Matt with a blocker out in front. Cuts up in front of that, though, and crosses midfield.
Ball carried by Matt Hoffman.
And then a late penalty flag comes in at the end of that one. Nolan Cush and Charles Johnson had a little connection at the end of that play. And a dead ball personal foul will go against the East. So the run will stand, and then backwards, 15 from the end of that play.
Personal foul against the
and
East
since the
All-Stars,
play
moves
counts,
ball back to
the down counts as well.
37-yard line.
So 2nd down and long to go now for the East.
Second and 18.
Bohach with 3 linemen in front of him, just chucking it down the near side. That's Havlovitz. He's got the catch. Havlovitz is going to score for the East. What a catch by Trevor. 63 yards on the catch that time. And we get to say it again, Bohach to Havlovitz. (33-14) with 7 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. And that one was into the wind. So remember the East, they'll get the ball with the wind at their back here in the 4th quarter. And they'll have a conversion attempt before that. And timeout going to have to be taken. Because as is the case with All-Star games, sometimes you kind of forget when you're supposed to be out there and when you're not. Most of these guys are probably used to, never, ever coming off the field. All-Star game, who's in, who's out, it's what formation, are we offense or defense? And that can force a few timeouts. So again, don't forget to join us on the hashtag NE8Man18 if you're on Twitter. Or just tag us at Striv Sports. You can leave us a message on the Striv Sports Facebook page as well. We'd love to know where you are watching from. We always like to know, are you watching from Lincoln, Nebraska? Are you watching from Lincoln, Kansas? Are you watching from somewhere in Florida? Who are you rooting for? East, West, player, school? Who you got in this one? I always like to find those out, and if we get them during the game, we'll give you a shout-out as well, too. So coming out of the timeout, a chance for the conversion here after the 63-yard touchdown pass from Dalton Bohach to Trevor Havlovitz. Quentin Moles in the backfield. And, got tripped up by his own guy. Carson Dixon caught the heel that time of Moles, and that thwarted that. So after the big touchdown catch, it's 33-14. West on top We'll come back to Hastings College and Lloyd Wilson Field after this.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank, growing together. It's thanks to
Welcome back to Hastings College. 33-14 our score, the West on top of the East. In this 41st edition of the Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Classic. Thanks for joining us on StrivSports.com. My name is Eric Allgood. Our crew today, Taylor Siebert and Marcus Shear. Down on the field is Ben Mohorn. And looking forward to putting all of this together, whether it's the live stream, we'll have a replay available on this post. If you're watching us on Striv Sports, is the only place you can watch this game live. On this exact same page, we will have the replay a little bit later on tonight, so you might want to just check it in the morning. That would be best, perhaps. And then sometime next week, we will have the highlight video, courtesy of Ben Mohorn down there. And if you've seen some of the videos from StrivSports.com lately, that is Ben, and he has been doing some fantastic work for us. We're very excited about a young talent that just graduated in May from York High School. And a week later, he's at state track posting videos at 2 o'clock in the morning from the highlights of the day. So the kid's got some work in him. And, you know, he was a state champion with the Dukes football team last fall as well. So excited to have Ben as part of our team. And we'll be looking forward to that highlight video, the montage, if you will, next week. 1st and 10 from their own 20 for the East. On this, their second possession of the second half, but first, an illegal procedure is the call. The West touchdown drives in this game, folks, have covered 80, 85, 80, 46, and 95 yards. This one would, if it scores, would officially cover 80 yards again. That's pretty incredible on this, the final play of the fourth quarter, or third quarter, I should say. The fourth is still to come. Jack Rush, the quarterback for the West. We've seen him come out, just got dinged up a little bit on one play. Fires it to the near side. That is caught by Josh Heinrichs. He has got a first down, and the third quarter has come to an end. 33-14 is our score. And while we have maybe a little extra time, we caught up with Fullerton lineman Cole Prasosky earlier this week to ask him maybe what Coach Houghton has taught him about this game.
So what does it mean for you to represent Fullerton in this game? Obviously great athletes, great schools that have been represented, but to put your name with them, what does that mean to you?
Oh, it means the world. You know, I'm just always looking up those kind of guys. You know, Sondrup and Horrocks, you know, and Curtis Knopick and Will Meyer, those are the guys that have made it. Those are guys that just every athlete at Fullerton, you know, kind of look up to. They kind of laid the brick out for, you know, athletic excellence, you know. So, yeah, it just means a lot to be able to represent Fullerton.
Coach Houghton's been a coach in this game. Did he give you any advice on how to, you know, kind of go with everything this week?
Yeah, all the guys have, but yeah, Houghton especially. A big point he had was the helmet stickers, you know. Make sure you swap those right away. You know, it's really neat to see. You know, having your rivals' stickers on your helmet. It's weird, but like the first one I went and got was BDS. You know, because I mean those guys they were pretty dang good. But yeah, they've told me a lot of great stuff about it, and just enjoy is their big thing.
So whose sticker did
thanks to Cole and all of the guys who took some time earlier this week to share us their thoughts about the 8-man All-Star game as Jack Rush fires incomplete on 2nd and 6. That will bring up third down here. And now the West going into the wind. I'm kind of curious. It's a little dark outside. I wonder if we're kicking the lights on at some point here at Lloyd Wilson Field. Last year when this game played, we were kind of dodging some rainstorms, and as we were packing up, a gorgeous rainbow appeared to the east of the stadium. I don't know that we have any rain in the forecast for today yet, or tonight yet, but we might pop the windows open a little bit. Rush to throw on 3rd and 6, near side. That is incomplete. 2 defenders there for the East. Ashton Doman was there along with Ben Rietziker. They knock it free. And a 3 and out. That time, and there goes our window. Now that's all the more it opens. And we're blocking the view, so we got to bring it down at least a little bit. This is a spiraling punt that will be fielded by Doman and makes a nice juke step and eludes the first guy down there. Jack Rush was left like, whoa, hey, what? Where did he go? I had him. He was there. And then he wasn't. Pruitt makes the tackle, and the East has it 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. So Dalton Bohach will go under center. I haven't seen him under center very much in this game. And they want to guard around. Look at this. And the big fella on that one was Theo Rohrer, playing defensive end mostly in this game, but the Sacred Heart Irish carries that one from his guard position. And somewhere, Coach Doug Goltz says, man, did I have that one in the playbook? If I didn't, I should have. 7 yards for the big fella, and 2nd and 3 upcoming. Rohrer again there at left guard, Stengel the right guard. That is Havlovich, the tight end on the near side. And this is Brady Oliver from Pender looking for that edge, and he's pushed out of bounds. A penalty flag comes down. This has been a game that has not seen a ton of penalties. A couple of procedures are offsides, and I think only a couple of penalties during play. But this one looks like it will be a hold against the East side. So 2nd down again.
Signal is a holding call.
That was towards the end of the football play, though, as opposed to the end of the hockey play or basketball play. Of course, neither sport we are playing currently. So move it back to the 44-yard line of the West, where it will be 2nd down and 3. Oliver in the shotgun, takes a snap, steps left, looks back to the right, and throws it over the head of Havlovich.
Pass by Brady Oliver is incomplete. Brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 4.
Miles Davis, cool cat that he is, from Hemmingford out there on the coverage, and pretty good coverage on Havlovich. Into the game, Cooper Smith trots out there. Cooper, the Tri-County Trojan. The lights are kicking on here at Lloyd Wilson Field as Oliver sends 3 receivers, including Moles, who is in motion, back to the right. Now he rolls to his right, has pressure, gets rocked as he lets it go. Havlovich can't come back to it, but a big hit from the big fella there in the backfield. I want to make sure I make mention of Mr. Roper Chandler from Paxton. All 6'2", 255 of them. When you're wearing 57, you are the big fella. It might have also been Talon Reiser from St. Mary's. Is it 47 or 57? Again, not terribly big fan of these jerseys. It does look like, I apologize, that was Reisler from a nose guard position that came up with that big hit. And now 4th and 4 for the East from the West, 44. Moles in motion, fake it, and this is a carry for Brandon Waters, and he didn't make it. John Rouse of Blue Hill came up and stopped him right short by a full yard of the line to gain. It's a turnover on downs, and the West is held. And that draws a cheer from their fans on the near side, so the West will take over 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Jack Rush again back in the quarterback spot for the West. Wants the pass over the middle. It is behind his intended receiver. That was Heinrichs. Coverage on the play from Caden Tice of Osceola. And, we made mention of Caden's helmet earlier in the first half. A new co-op coming to the Crossroads Conference this fall. Osceola and High Plains will co-op the football team and play as the Storm Dogs this fall. New uniforms and a combination of helmet. It's the orange face mask and stripe, I believe, of the Osceola Bulldogs, but it's the blue shell of High Plains that the Storm Dogs will be wearing, along with some sweet-looking new jerseys. Daniel Leibolt trying to stay in bounds, but cannot. Gets knocked out of bounds there by Connor Bear of Heartland.
Ball carried by Daniel Leibolt.
Well, Leibolt, he has been the man here in this ball game. 3 touchdown runs. They've covered 6, 18, and 39. If I'm not mistaken, that should have just about make him a shoo-in for the West offensive MVP. We've called Connor Bear's name plenty on the defensive side for the East as well. East offensive player of the game. Well, if I had to guess, I'd say Moles. He's got 1 of the 2 touchdowns. Dalton Bohach and Trevor Havlovitz hooked up for a 63-yard pass a couple of possessions ago for the East. And with the play clock winding down, a timeout going to be taken by the West. So 10:34 left here in the fourth quarter, and a chance to look at a championship journey one more time.
Practice begins in August, but the dream starts much sooner. Toiling away in the late summer sun, hoping for the chance to play on the state's biggest stage. Surviving the closest games, adding to the legacy. Running away with the big games. Losing the first 3, then winning it all. Winning the first 12, then coming this close to the 13th. Finding a way to finish. 7 Striv schools, 4 champions. 2 days in Lincoln. This is their journey. A championship journey.
Third and 9 for the West All-Stars here in the fourth quarter. Only a minute and a half gone by in the fourth quarter. We've had a couple of possessions. This actually the second possession for the West All-Stars in the period already. A couple of 3-and-outs and a turnover on downs in there. But third and 9 here for Rush. He's got 2 receivers out to his left. And they go into the formation, and they will try to get it to Leibolt on the far side, who just about makes a one-handed catch. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he would have been out of bounds anyway, but why not try to throw that thing to Daniel Leibolt? He has been the man for the West offense, and now it appears that 4th and 9, it will be a punting situation for the guys in green. Hunter Kraus has put his foot into a few good punts, a couple of extra point kicks. Matt Hoffman is back to return for the East, the graduate of Plainview. And he will take it here. Starts right, comes back to the left, doesn't really have some blockers, but avoids one, and then he just gets Rocktel Spees. Will tell you to stop running right there. The big fella from Mullen puts an end to that return at the 39-yard line.
Punt return is out to the 39-yard line where the East All-Stars take over. 1st and 10, 10 minutes, 17 seconds to go into the ball game.
So we saw a lot of running in that first half and third quarter. We saw 4 total possessions in the third quarter. This is the 4th possession of the fourth quarter, and we've got 10. We haven't played 2 minutes yet. We've been throwing it around here in the fourth quarter a little bit. And this is Waters that will be at quarterback, fake a handoff, come back to his left, and pick up a couple of yards there. Brandon Waters of Winside on that carry.
Tackle on the play made by Jacob Pruitt.
Jacob Pruitt again in on that tackle. We've called the Arapahoe graduate's name a few times. 2nd and 8 on the way for the East All-Stars. always fun to be a part of the activities going on here for the Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Classic, the 4th year that Striv Sports has been a part of the broadcast. And very happy to do this. It's a lot of fun. We get a chance to work with plenty of these 8-man schools throughout the school year that are on the Striv platform. And, of course, there's plenty of these guys that are represented that aren't, but a lot of them are, and it's a whole lot of fun to kind of see them in a different environment in a game like this. So good luck to all these guys as they head off and do great things beyond the football field. Some will be playing football at the next level, and for others, one last time to put on a set of shoulder pads and a helmet until you get to put on a little plastic one that your son brings up to you. That's another special moment. 3rd down and a full 5 to go for the East. That's Moles in motion. Hand it to Quinton. Looking for an edge, now cuts up, falls forward. Just, I think, shy of the first down. It will be 4th and very short.
Tackle made by Creston Birchinger.
Creston Birchinger in on the tackle. Creston from Clearwater Orchard came up with a big hit earlier in the ball game, but it will be 4th and about a half a yard. Oliver in there at quarterback. His 2 running backs right behind him. This looks like sneak. It is. Oliver stuffed up, and I don't think he made it. The West defense is going to hold on downs on the quarterback sneak. Means you always got to look at the bottom guy on the pile. That's Talon Reiser of St. Mary's that stuffed things up initially and let those linebackers flow over the top and get the turnover on downs.
West All-Stars take over possession, 1st and 10 on the East, 48.
So a stop and a turnover on downs, and from the 48 of the East, the West has the football. Of course, the Shrine game a couple of weeks ago, the first week in June. Out there in Kearney, and knifing into the backfield. Oh, what a stop that time. Carson Dixon was in the backfield as fast as the football was.
Tackle on the play by Jacob Yostin.
Excuse me, Jacob Yostin was the one there. 54 from Guardian Angel Central Catholic.
2nd and 14.
That is shooting your gap. Keep an eye on the wing on the near side. That's Daniel Leibolt of Chambers Wheeler Central Ewing. He looks to block this time, and it's Jack Rush. Comes near side. Now it's a foot race far side. Rush pushed out of bounds around the 20-yard line, but a big carry for Jack Rush. Hasn't carried it a whole lot in this game, but they're going to give him 32 yards on that pickup.
Rush carries down to the 20-yard line.
And I believe that was Thigstad of Wynot on that tackle. But Rush took the option near side and avoided one tackle. And, boy, in 8-man football especially, it seems if you can avoid one tackle, boy, there might be a big gap somewhere to be running for a while. And that's exactly what Mr. Rush found there. Leibolt now is in the backfield to the right of Jack Rush. He will not get the carry, though. It will be Alex Horkey, the other running back. Gains a couple, and then a pile of gold pushes him backwards. Rietziker was there. Connor Bear was there. Ben Bowling was there
leading the charge on the tackle
for the East All-Stars. A gain of 2 on the play. Under 7 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. All West in this one. First drive of the game was 80 yards, and it was capped by a 6-yard touchdown run by Daniel Leibolt, and that possession took 5 minutes and 41 seconds. That was the trend setter of the night for the West, and they have not relinquished any sort of command since that opening possession. They scored again after a nice drive by the East. They scored after a fumble for the East was recovered by Austin Geis. A play later, Holden Eckout caught an 85-yard touchdown pass from Jack Rush. And after the kick by Kraus, that made it 14-0, and it's really been no looking back since then. Coming off a little gimpy that time was Landon Lenz for the West. Landon from Medicine Valley. 3,000-yard rusher in his career, 1,900 yards and 35 touchdowns this season for Medicine Valley, who went 11-1 and lost to South Loop in the semifinals. This is 3rd and 4, and a carry for Leibold. A penalty flag comes down. That's in the general vicinity of a hold against the offense, which is what our head official tells us. So we'll try 3rd down again, unless the East wants them to try 4th and 4. So penalty will be accepted and moved back to the 25-yard line. The week of August 24th, I believe it is, night 1 of the high school football season. Practices will begin on the 26th, or on the 6th of August. And the first Friday Night Lights will kick on the 24th. Of course, always a few games on Thursday, the 23rd, that week as well. Rush wants to throw on 3rd and 13. Another man wide open, and it's caught for another touchdown. That is Alex Horkey from 25 yards out.
Complete to Alex Horkey. Horkey carries in for the West touchdown.
Into the wind. So it hung a little bit, but another touchdown. 5:38 to play here in the 4th quarter. And Hunter Kraus on for the extra point kick. I'll have to look and see if there's a record for extra point kicks in the All-Star game. That one comes up just short. Can't quite believe it. He just took a wedge and he went right underneath that thing. It's easy to do out of the high grass. It's harder to do off the field turf. Nonetheless, the West 39, the East 14, with 5.5 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
14 our score.
And Ryan Martin.
Hey, we have got some activity on the hashtag NE8Man18. Tamara is watching from Pine Hill, New Mexico. Awesome stuff. I love the internet. And she says go west. So, Tamara, watching us from Pine Hill, New Mexico, go west indeed. Hoffman catches this one on the run, spins across the 30, but another nice tackle. That one is Cameron Downey of Anselmo Myrna on that carry, or on that tackle, I should say. And 1st and 10 from their own 33 for the East. Brady Oliver from Pender in the shotgun. And look at this, 3 offensive linemen. And one guy pops right through. A penalty flag comes down. That might be an illegal formation as they get it out to Hoffman on the edge. Perhaps not everybody quite on the line of scrimmage where they needed to be. See what the officials talk about on the far side. Eight-man football. You got to have 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. And if you're on the line of scrimmage, you have to be the last guy on the line of scrimmage to be eligible. Officials with a lengthy conversation about this one, and they're going to call an illegal shift on the east. So perhaps somebody was still moving without being set first. In football, once you break your huddle, everyone has to be set for, they call it a beat or a count. They don't say it's got to be a full second, but there has to be a definitive point where everyone on the offensive side is stopped and you are set for a position. Then you can go in motion, but if you just kind of continue to be in motion or still moving, even if there's only one of you at the snap, you got to be set first before you can do that. That's Quentin Moles, who went in motion. Now Oliver trying to come back to the near side, and he's not going to make it. A tackle in bounds there, and a good rundown made by John Rouse of Blue Hill. John, the quarterback and linebacker for Coach John Coffey. Runners up this year to BDS in Class D2, but John and Blue Hill, the Bobcats had a heck of a year, went to Mullen and won in the semifinals against guys like Tell Spees and Coach Mitch Pfeiffer. That was a heck of a ball game out there in the Sandhills in the middle of November. So 2nd and 15 now coming up as Oliver is in the shotgun. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. That's Havlovich. That's where he's looking. Trevor's got his step on the defense and a big catch from Trevor Havlovich. He is all the way down to the 20-yard line. 52 yards on the catch to Trevor Havlovich of East Butler. His second big catch had a 63-yarder that went for a touchdown earlier, and this one goes for 52 on the play. I think our East offensive MVP may have just been decided. Hopefully they didn't vote too soon. The receiving yards record is 129. Havlovich has an extra catch or 2 in there, so we might be close to record status, and that was a swing pass and had a blocker in front of Colby Holden. A friend could not quite pull that in from Brady Oliver.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
So 2nd and 10 from the 40, or with 4:08 to play here in this fourth quarter. We did get a Facebook message. What did we get here? Go West from Kuwait. Michael Horkey is watching in Kuwait. Michael, thank you so much. We love doing those, by the way, and getting those shout-outs out there. As that pass is incomplete from Oliver, he got immediate pressure there from Hunter Kraus,
He brings up 3rd and 10.
who's been handling the kicking duties for the West very well throughout the game. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Michael Horkey has some sort of connection to Alex Horkey, right, from Twin Loop. Michael, thank you for watching from Kuwait. That is awesome. 3rd and 10 here for the East. 4:04 to play in our fourth quarter. Moles out to the right. Also out there is Ashton Doman. Havlovich, the tight end on the near side. Oliver will just loft it into the middle and well inside of Hoffman there. Didn't really have a good chance at getting it to him, but there is a penalty flag at the 5-yard line. And interference against the defense is going to be the call. So going to get half the distance, but you're going to also get an automatic first down out of this thing, I believe.
Connelly moves the ball right down to the 10-yard line. First down, 1st and goal East.
Go west from Kuwait. I don't know that I've gotten a message from halfway around the world. That is pretty cool. Oliver rolling right, now throwing left to the back of the end zone. Incomplete. That was Ashton Doman. That was the intended receiver. Had it off his fingertips. Could not quite pull that thing in. Coverage being supplied by Miles Davis of Hemingford. So 2nd and goal from right on the 10. Oliver with Cush, Hoffman, and Moles to his left. Havlovitz out to the right. Pressure right away, just chuck it to the back of the end zone. And again, a penalty flag. This one's going to be in the end zone, but probably pass interference again. This one would be against Spencer Wickman of Palmer. Brady Oliver is seeing immediate pressure, though. But again, this one is half the distance. It's not a college or NFL rule that, since it was in the end zone, in college and the NFL, you put it at the 2. And no, in high school, it's even if in the end zone, it's still the half the distance or whatever the appropriate distance would be. It's not automatically to the 2 like it is in college and the pros. So Oliver now will go under center with Moles in an I formation. This looks like something the former B saw, but Oliver will throw it, and Cush was wide open, but just overshot him. Did Brady Oliver that time, and 2nd and goal. Now 3rd and goal coming up from the 5. Actually, this should be 2nd down, right?
2nd and 5.
2nd and goal from the 5. Our down marker on the far side says 3rd. Scoreboard, and me and Marcus up here, we agree. It should be 2nd down. Millennials running this. Just deciding, but just making up the rules as we go. Sometimes that happens in all-star games, though. Oliver in the shotgun. Whoop. That was, did his hand, he might have got hit there as he let that one go. Again, supplying the pressure. Talon Reiser of St. Mary's, boy, he's just been a handful up front. At the East, really hasn't gotten a good handle on when there's been a passing situation. 3rd and 5 now, even though the down marker says 4th. And do the refs have it as 4th as well? Did they not give them the down over at least? On that yeah. In any effect, Caden Tice is on to kick a field goal here. And boy, does he pound that thing through. That's off. That clears the first fence and is almost out into the highway. From the 5, from the 27-yard field goal there for Caden Tice of Osceola. Makes it 39-17. West still leads the East, but finally a scoring drive there, aided by the big catch for Trevor Havlovitz. Bunch of yards in the ball game for Trevor. Had a 52-yard catch there, had a 63-yard catch earlier that went for a touchdown, and he had a 3rd catch that was very long along the far side. That was somewhere around 50 yards as well. So we could be looking at, and I don't have anything sort of official stats up here, but they may be looking at a new receiving record for yards in this 8-man All-Star game. Don't forget, you will be able to watch a replay of this game on this post where you're watching right now. That'll be coming up a little bit later. We got to get packed up here from Hastings and get back to Henderson and get the game uploaded, but it will be right here again on this post. And then highlight video coming next week, courtesy of Ben Mohorn. Excited to see what Ben can put together from a great day of football. Obviously fantastic athletes and a great setting here at Hastings College. Tice has it teed up at the 40 for the East All-Stars. And he will onside this one, a little pooch kick. Fielded nicely up front by Jacob Pruitt of Arapahoe. And that is where it will be 1st and 10 for the West All-Stars.
West All-Stars take over possession on the 43-yard line of their West. 1st and 10.
So 3:36 left in this one. Also on StrivSports.com, sometime early next week, you will be able to order a downloadable link for this game. You will be sent a file, basically, that you can download. And if you would like to burn your own copy of the game, you can do that. That will be your choice. But we will have information on StrivSports.com next week about how you can do that as well. The running back there was Cameron Downing from Anselmo Myrna. Tackle made by Jacob Yostin, Guardian Angels Central Catholic. Maybe a loss of a couple of inches on that one, so maybe a full yard. 2nd and 11 upcoming. A day like this, you're pretty thankful for air conditioning inside because it kind of feels like, hey, it should be like cool outside. No, it's still 88, 93 at kickoff, and it's still 88 right now here in Hastings. But the good news for these players on the field, first of all, the shadows have completely covered the field, basically, and we've had a nice south wind all day, so that has at least kept the air moving. And we haven't been real sticky with the humidity or anything like that. East taking a timeout here after an Alex Orkey run. We'll bring up 3rd and 8, and we will take a break as well. We'll come back with the West.
My name is William Scarf. I'm a diesel tech here in York, Nebraska for Truck Center Companies. Before I started working here, I helped a smaller mechanic shop, and I did some work here and there. And then I started working on some engines at home in my shop. And then that's when I kind of got my jump with diesel. I've liked the experience they're giving me, the hours they're able to give me, and just the training and all the accessories. Pay is good, benefits are wonderful. Basically, they offer basically all benefits. Pretty happy that I was able to find it so quickly, right after high school basically. It was really jump right into it, and turns out to be a really good place to start a career.
3rd and 8 for the West All-Stars with a 4-man rush. This is Leibold. He gets it to midfield and just across, but he is going to be short of a first down. But 4th and about 2.5 to go here for the West All-Stars.
Carries into East Territory at the 49-yard line, brings up 4th down, 4th and 2.
Again, we've ran a couple promos for it tonight, but this would be maybe a good chance to mention again that elsewhere on StrivSports.com, we had a chance last November to spend 2 days in Lincoln and chronicle a championship journey. 7 different Strive schools, at least one in each of the 6 classes that were playing between 8-man and 11-man championship games there in Lincoln, as this carry is made by Leibold, and he has got a first down. We were able to chronicle the championship games with BDS and East Butler and York, Boone Central Newman Grove, also Centennial and UTAN, the all-Strive matchup in C2, and Kearney's game against Omaha North in that Class A final as well. A big project for us, and it was a lot of fun when it all came together there towards the end of January. So I would highly encourage you, if you haven't yet, to check out A Championship Journey, 2 days in Lincoln on StrivSports.com. We've got probably just a couple of kneel downs left to go in this one, it looks like, and the West is going to win their 3rd straight 8-man All-Star game. The East won back-to-back in 2014 and 2015, and before that had been 6 straight by the West as well. So a big game here today. And again, we want to say thank you to the 8-Man Football Coaches Association, the Hastings Sertoma, who put on this game and asked us to be a part of it. And we are very happy to be the broadcast supplier of the 8-Man All-Star game. Again, a little scoring recap how this game went. Well, it was all west from the opening kickoff, really. A 5-minute, 41-second drive that covered 80 yards absolutely set the tone. The West got a 6-yard touchdown run from Daniel Leibold, his first of 3. That set the tone. A Hunter Kraus kick made it 7-0 with 6:19 to go in the first quarter, and really it was from there. No looking back. The East responded with a pretty good drive. And we have also got, we've got some MVPs. Get back to this, an 85-yard touchdown catch. Holden neck out from Jack Rush, and the kick made it 14-0 with 3:21 left in the first quarter. Couple 3-and-outs both ways, and then the East gets on the board with a touchdown run from Quentin Moles that covered 1 yard. He also got the conversion to make it 14-8. But then a punt for the West, and suddenly things were cooking for the East. Then Charles Johnson recovered a fumble at his own 20-yard line. A couple plays later, Josh Hendricks got a 62-yard touchdown pass from Jack Rush, and West was up 20-8. Before the half was over, Daniel Leibold would add an 18-yard touchdown run. The kick was good to make it 27-8 at the halftime break. They would add to it when Leibold had his third touchdown run of the game to cap a 95-yard drive on a 39-yard run, made it 33-8. Next possession for the East All-Stars was culminated in a 63-yard touchdown pass from Dalton Bohach to Trevor Havlovitz, made it 33-14. And then a couple possessions ago, a 25-yard pass to Alex Horkey from Jack Rush, covered 25 yards, made it 39-14, and then a 27-yard field goal from Caden Tice gave the East their last 3 points at 39-17. Just had a turnover on downs, taking the 4 knees, and now just a couple of plays here for the East All-Stars. This will be the only drive they start in West territory at the 46. So Bohach will go into the shotgun again. 4 receivers out in the pattern. Near side, and it's picked off on the first play. Picked off by Jacob Pruitt. He's pulled down, and that will be your contest. Pruitt gets the INT. And that is the third takeaway by the West defense. So with 12 seconds left, folks, we've got some records and some MVP awards to hand out. First, for the East offense, Trevor Havlovitz of East Butler. He does indeed have the receiving yards record. One touchdown amongst those, but we counted at least 3 50-yard catches or farther in this ball game. He was outstanding. The East defensive MVP, Ben Bowling of Johnson Brock. For the West offense, another record was set. That was Jack Rush of South Loop. He sets the passing record in this ballgame. And on defense, it was John Rouse of Blue Hill that was given the MVP, and very deserving as well. What a ball game here today. What a job by all of these gentlemen. The West wins it 39-17 in the 41st edition of the Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Classic. I think we have probably ran everything that we need to run about as good as we can. And again, thanks to you for watching this ball game. A reminder that our recording will be up a little bit later tonight. We got to get packed up back to Henderson and upload it before we can make it available. But they will also have the highlight video, the montage, if you will, coming up next week as well. You can watch our Striv Sports Twitter and Facebook pages, and Striv TV on Instagram. We will have links for all of that, and let you watch the highlight video coming up next week. You can order your digital copy, not a DVD, but a digital copy of tonight's game as well. We will have information on this post that you're watching here on StrivSports.com a little bit later on tonight. In the meantime, we want to say a thank you to Ben Mohorn, who is down on the sideline and will provide that highlight video. Taylor Siebert, our founder, CEO, and cameraman for the night. Marcus Shear came all the way from Cook. I'll let you look that one up on the map of Nebraska Marcus came up to help us run Wirecast, and my name is Eric Allgood, Striv Sports Director. Thanks for joining us for another edition of the 8-Man All-Star Game here in Hastings. We will see you next June for the 42nd edition of the Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Classic. Good night from Hastings.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today.